Today's episode of the Warp World Podcast is brought to you by me, Xwater. That's right, I brought it. Here we go. Let's do it. We got a special interview with KungFuFruitCup.
You are now listening to the Warp World Podcast. Boom shakalaka.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Warp World Podcast, episode uno, tres, ocho, 138.
Nice.
I know, right?
Thanks for the translation.
Joining me this week and every week is Xwater.
What up, Pooh?
And joining
friends?
us some weeks is Jaku.
Hey,
I'm glad I got to make that
both
joke.
Both of us joining us some weeks goes for both of you.
I'm glad I got to make that joke finally.
I mean, yeah, I've missed 2 weeks this year, but
but you've both had good reasons every time. I've been a homebody this year.
The good news is I probably won't be missing quite a few for a while.
Yeah. I mean, you want to go ahead and tell the gang why?
We might as well just get into it.
Well, there's a few reasons why, I guess. I'll start with the personal reason, and then we can go into the news.
Okay.
I've recently lost my day job, which good and bad, I suppose.
In the words of a wise man, it's 50-50.
It's 50-50. It gives me more opportunities to work on Warp World. It lets me start streaming again, which I've been doing. I've done No More Heroes, the first one playthrough, completed that this week. A fantastic game. Going to break into the second one tomorrow night. So I've felt like this whole rebirth for the stream. It's been really fun. But unfortunately, I don't have a day job. I'm not currently looking to replace it right away. I do have some money saved up for this sort of thing, and it is what it is. But hopefully, from this, this bad thing, good things will come.
Yeah. Which brings us right now to what we really got to say is support the Patreon. Because
that would help
Warp
a lot.
World. Yeah, you know what I mean. We need it. We need to bring on some more employees here right now. Because Jaku.
Yeah. Well, I what I need to do now.
Can't have him go homeless. He needs multiple Teslas, guys. So.
all the travel that I used to do for Warp World was pretty much on my own dime, and so I'm probably gonna be submitting some expense reports right now, just because it would help out. Because there was a lot of travel in the last 3 weeks, and coming home knowing that I have to now pay for that without a job is going to be a little tough. But yeah, the Patreon would. Huge shout outs to the Patreon members currently, but we are very close to our goal of $1,000 for the blog. We're less than $100 away, so that would only take about 3 to 4 epic gamers or epic fans, and so do your thing, people. And don't forget, there is also fabulous merch.warp.world. You can get this amazing mug. It's pretty great. It's got myself, Grand Pooh Bear, Xwater, and Johnny Christmas on it. And we got other great things like shirts and hoodies and hats. But that's enough plugs for the beginning of the podcast, I feel like.
Yeah, we can we'll throw some more in midway at the end.
Yeah.
It's all about the mid-rolls. It's what Twitch is always pushing us to run,
Oh, my God.
I got something to share with you guys.
I was going to say, I got something to talk after this, too. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that we can't. This is literally stuff we can't talk about outside in the world. But you know what? Honestly, even if we did, I don't think anyone would care, because the news right now all over the world is how much is being shut down because of the coronavirus here in America and both worldwide.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how the difference between last week and this week. The seriousness that it feels for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just go through it. TwitchCon Europe canceled. Grand Pooh Bear speedrun sessions on indefinite hold. Gotta say that, on indefinite hold. So probably post, but yeah, I mean, essentially they were canceled. E3 got canceled for the year.
Yeah.
Which could be good for it, but who knows? Or it could be really bad for it.
You know what? I think there is a greater than zero chance we've seen the last E3.
Yeah,
I would say that.
Yeah.
Greater than zero,
for sure.
Definitely
greater than zero chance. E3 is interesting because unlike E3 is a big fan press conference event. People work really hard on everything that's going to go on the E3, and just like GDC being canceled, the Game Developers Conference, which should have been going on right about now.
Next week, yeah. This week that you were listening, yeah.
Yes. They are a place where people are going to make a lot of deals. It's a place where a lot of game companies, especially like indie devs, are going to try and make a play to sell their game. You know what I mean? So
GDC last year is where we made like the first connection with Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah,
100%.
Like the first, at least, physical connection with them.
Yeah.
We had a lot of meetings.
Physical.
And we had a lot of meetings lined up for GDC that are now hopefully going to be virtualized. But
and
still.
even E3 last year was, I would say, arguably one of our biggest like just meetings that we ended up having. Like, it's not an understatement to say that like these conferences can sometimes make or break the smaller like players in the gaming development industry. Like it's massive, so it's going to be a big hit. Not necessarily for like the Blizzard and the Epic, but
I wouldn't have gone to Platinum Games last week if we weren't at E3 last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And I mean, I think there's just I would agree with you guys. I think it's a much bigger hit to your smaller devs than it is your like even like your super indies and certainly your AAAs at this point. Like I don't think Nintendo, PlayStation, or Microsoft. I don't even get why they go. They don't give a fuck. Like they can hold their own conferences and they'll be fine. Sony's already pulled out. Nintendo's pulled out. Like essentially, like they still have presences on the floor, but they don't hold the full conference anymore. You know what I mean? They do their own thing online, and it makes sense. You know,
and they're probably making bank right now, anyways, with everything going on. People staying home. So like they're probably doing better than before.
Yeah, people like self-quarantining themselves to their homes is gonna. I mean, we're in an age where you can just go on like buy everything digitally, like any source of entertainment. It's like if there was ever a point in my lifetime, at least, to be like, all right, you can't leave the house for a week. It'd be right now. It's like, all right, I will download this new game, stream this movie, watch this. Like, there's an endless stream of things you can entertain yourself with. Without having to leave the house.
Yeah, I mean, I did self-quarantine so far since getting back from Japan, and like I haven't left the house, and it's been great.
You haven't even visited your family at Olive Garden?
No, they might be dead.
Okay, a little extreme, but hopefully not.
I don't know. I haven't been in contact with them.
They might be, yeah.
I didn't know if it's like
50-50, dude.
I didn't know if they meant cut off all contact, like physical and like digital. But it said like cut off contact in quarantine. So computer viruses are a thing.
Man,
I mean, you could quarantine your computer from the internet.
So I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of team didn't really think it was as serious as it is until I saw the announcements for the NBA and now MLB and NFL also canceling and
F1.
And F1 now. Yeah, it just keeps
MLS.
growing. Yeah. It just keeps growing because originally I was thinking like for GDC, for example, I was like, okay, so GDC is mostly canceled because of coronavirus because like
international.
Because like
international.
Not only that, but I figured like all their big players pulled out, which like for them, they're thinking like, okay, it's a HR nightmare if our employees get sick when we send them and if they do. Right. So I felt like all those companies were just being super cautious at first.
Right.
And
they
then,
were. And
they were, yeah.
They were. Absolutely.
And but now that the NBA, like just out of like using them as prime example, like the NBA canceling is like going to be like, listen, they're not going to willingly throw that much fucking money away. Not unless there was,
they're in their prime part of their season too. Right now, they don't really have anything to go up against. Like the playoff hunt's coming in. LeBron James is playing on the most popular team with one of the best records in the NBA. Like trust me, nobody in the NBA wanted to stop making the money they were making this season. Like billionaires don't want to do that. But now the NBA has 2 players that have tested positive for coronavirus though. So they almost faced it.
I read that
they almost
one dude like was joking about, he touched all the mics and then bam, he has it.
Karma.
He's got
karma
retired
hit
now,
him.
right? He's got retired
the karma virus hit that guy. That's what happened.
Let me ask you this about the NBA. Do you think they could just play an NBA like 2020 game where the actual players play their counterparts and compete?
It's funny that you say that because that's exactly what the Phoenix Suns are doing right now. The Phoenix Suns starting Saturday are going to play out their schedule starting Saturday on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Phoenix Suns. They just announced it. I literally saw it like right before we came online.
Because I was streaming last night and people were like, NBA is canceled. I'm like, they should just do this.
Yeah. But you bring up a counter, like leading into it. It's kind of weird because esports and Twitch and YouTube, not just fine, but this is almost like a thrive situation for all of these things. Am I wrong?
No, because like if everyone's like working from home, not trying to leave the house, like that's what. First of all, that's what we already do with streaming. Like we don't fucking leave the house to do that. And second of all, it's like great. That's more people who are looking for something to do on the internet. Yep. That's our fucking business, man. Mm-hmm. So yeah. The cards play out decent enough for us in this scenario as online content creators. It's definitely like a position where we're not feeling like the NBA where it's like, shit, all that face-to-face contact we need to make, it's all ruined now. It's like, that's not part of our job, so it's fine. We're safe. Yeah.
It's interesting because if this had happened 2 or 3 years ago for us, like there'd be almost no difference for us in terms of streaming and everything. But we have a lot of live events. We have a lot of events that we all do now. So it is still impacting us drastically, but like it's crazy to think how much it has changed in the last 3 years, because we used to be maybe doing 2 to 4 events a year max, and now like we've named 4 events that we like just
go to.
We go to like 4 within like 3 months. So
it is interesting, but most of our stuff can still just be done online, which is very nice for us and gives us this opportunity, but like it's hurting a lot of things. I gotta mention this because I didn't look at it today. The Bitcoin price, like Bitcoin was great for quite a while in the last few months. It got to 10K again. Things were looking good. It's just around 5K now. It dropped like 3K in 24 hours.
Dude, it took a huge dip.
And like that's part of the stock market stuff going on right now. They froze the market last week for like 15 minutes. There's talking about airlines being reimbursed and like, bailouts and stuff. Like this is impacting a lot more now than what people were thinking 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And we have no idea when it's going to end or where it's going to go and what it's going to happen. But one other good thing, you always got to look at what can
silver
happen.
Linings.
Working from home. A lot of companies are embracing working from home, and this could be that big push that lets more people work from home, because I think when you work from home, it does take a certain type of person to do correctly, but I think many people have that personality and can do it. Productivity goes way up in my experience when a lot of people work from home, because you're home, you can take care of certain things during the day, but you can get your work done and like you have an incentive to, and you don't have to worry about an hour commute both ways. It's just so much better there. And the demand of working from home is going to put pressure on ISPs to give us better downloads and upload speeds. And we're going to finally be able to like say, fuck you, Comcast. You really do suck, because 99% of your user base is now complaining instead of just 20% of us.
Yeah. I think we might be seeing, this might be an indirect kind of like result of all this, might be seeing a quicker shift, which I think we were already moving that way anyway as a society. But I think we might be seeing a quicker shift and pivot to more and more people working from home, which again is good for Twitch streamers.
Yeah, it's good for Twitch streamers.
Yeah, which is good for Twitch streamers. But I think there's a lot of benefits to it, and just like you said, like, man, if you instead of driving an hour both ways, like spend 15 more minutes doing your fucking work, like no one's gonna be fucking mad at that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's a good trade. It's a great trade-off for everybody.
You'll be able to wake up much later, so you get more sleep. You could skip the shower real quick if you wanted to. So you could run late essentially, and still be fine. Like there's many benefits.
So many good things. Yeah.
So
I think that I can see that.
I mean, there is on the flip side it takes the right person to do, because for every one person who's going to be like, yes, this is time I save on my commute, I can be a little bit more productive, get my stuff done. There's going to be that one guy who's also like, sick, no boss is watching, I'm not doing dick.
Yeah, and there's gonna have to be some things there. Obviously, there's gonna be people that take advantage of that a lot more than others. Yeah, and you're gonna have to look for those, and you're gonna have to find those employees that do that. And there's software already to kind of track your online.
There is.
So for that, like companies are gonna invest in that, and eventually, if you're slacking off, either you're gonna be asked to go to the office and be supervised, or you just have to be let go. And like as jobs start to be more online and more work from home driven, you're gonna have to kind of take on that responsibility and not be an idiot.
Hey, it'll save the offices money in terms of infrastructure too. Like if you have 20 more employees working from home, that's 20 less, 20 less office people worth of office space you need to have.
Less phones, less
phones.
desks, less conference rooms, less food and beverages, and just all sorts of stuff. Absolutely. There's so much. You can have a smaller office overall, which decreases. It will be interesting. It will definitely be interesting to see what sort of effect this has long term on working from home businesses and just having on-site things.
Yeah.
And you'll never get rid of like in-person meetings. Those will always be a big part, even with VR. There's always something to be said about having face-to-face meetings with certain people and groups. So there will be opportunities for that, but it's going to be interesting.
It is.
I'm just so like, I can't even begin to like lay down a prediction for how it's going to turn out. Because I'm thinking about like all the cancellations with events, with leagues, even with schools and school systems. Like a lot of universities, I know in America are going full, like, don't come here. And
I think Chicago schools and it might have been all of Illinois just got closed until April.
All of the schools in Ontario, like March break or our spring break, it starts next week. They're closed for an extra 2 weeks after that to give a total 3 weeks close time.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I think I was looking at something where it's estimated that like we're going to be on the downslope of amount of people who have corona by the end of like June or something. Like that's like, I think the current estimate.
That's how far out it is.
And I also just want to add for our listeners that we are not at all certified physicians, doctors. Anything we say, do not take, do your own research on any of this shit, because do not take our word as law with any of this. We don't have any real, medical background to be talking about the exacts. We're just kind of sharing information here. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how that affects families. Like, for a lot of people, their kids going to school is number one. Sure, kids go to school, learn shit. But number two, that's daycare. Like, I got to go to work. That's perfect. My kid's at school for 8 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's a lot of pushing for, like, I know universities are looking to do online classes and push everything to the internet as much as possible. Public schools, elementary schools and stuff, that's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
And if parents are still having to go to work, because let's be honest, not a lot of jobs.
A lot of places are not going to be on.
You can't work from home. Like, you can't work a retail job from home. So, like, and a lot of families rely on those types of jobs. So these people are still going to work, and they're now going to have to take care of their kids who are staying home from school. And so, like, that's going to be interesting. And you can't just throw them out of daycare, because the whole point of it is not to be out. Not to be out. So there's definitely going to be some crazy things going on. This is definitely like the biggest type of virus that we've seen and had to react to in our lifetimes. Like,
it hit quick, man.
Disneyland is closing on Friday. It's only closed 4 times in the history of it.
Wow.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is actually very, very crazy to me that even Disneyland is closing. I mean, that's it. That is very insane to me. I think it is like the quickness that it spread. We've seen these, like about every 10-ish years, something of this has come on in my lifetime, give or take.
Like
yeah.
Swine flu, there was Ebola, but just
Bird
the
flu.
way it's spread has been really crazy. And obviously the lack of testing, with the well-documented lack of testing here, has not made it any easier. It is very, I'm surprised and impressed with the seriousness that everyone's taking it, because I honestly thought like a lot of people and companies would be like, 3% of the people, who gives a fuck, let's make that money. And so I am impressed about it. But I also, you have to feel for the companies, the tourism industries, the hourly workers at all these, event stadiums that are going on. Just me alone in what we've done. We've lost money in things we're doing, you know what I mean? And that sucks. But people dying sucks worse.
Yes.
And that is what it is. So I am impressed to a certain degree about all this. And I don't think these decisions come lightly. And I also think a lot of those decisions come because we know that not everyone that has it is being tested. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that we're very aware of. And that's something that I think is added to the drastic measures that are being taken.
Well, they're even turning away. So like people are going to try and get tested, and they're turning them away if they don't meet certain criteria, because they're like, oh well, if you have it, you're just gonna have to deal with it. But like the problem is if younger people have it, they need to not go near their grandparents and stuff. And so like without knowing that, it's just like, oh well, just don't go near your grandparents for 2 weeks or so, and or old people in general. And so it's really interesting. But yeah, we just don't have enough testing going on. We're not prepared for it infrastructure wise on that, and it's expensive for many people. So it's a huge thing that's bringing a lot of things to light during a very political season in the United States too. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this affects that. Not to start talking politics, but like it's definitely gonna. It should have an impact. I feel like, but it remains to be seen. But it should be brought up. There's so many things going on just in general with it that up until like 3 weeks ago, everyone was like, yeah, things are going normal. Like when I went to Japan, when I was in Japan, it was like, hey, we're canceling flights to Japan literally the day after I returned. So like they were still doing flights to Japan, but they canceled like 80% of them. So there was only a few a day. And I'm like, I just made it in and out just in time.
Just in the nick of time, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad that did not get canceled. There was a worry of that getting canceled. And that would have really sucked to have worked that hard and to get there and then be like, oh,
yeah,
well that didn't go well. But it's crazy. It's insane. But we're gonna see some interesting stuff, I'm sure. It's I think one of the other things, talking about games again, E3, a lot of game announcements are usually set around E3. Do you guys suspect we're going to still see game announcements around that time? Do you think they're going to do stuff like Nintendo Directs and stuff like all these other game companies? Or do you think they're just going to drop things on the news and we're going to see it as if people were at E3?
I think we're going to see a competitive June, July announcement season, maybe a little bit more spread out than on 3 particular days. But I think maybe toned down from what a typical E3 would be, because this has got to definitely affect, like development times of some games as well. Like the companies developing and publishing these games are also going to have, hiccups with their meetings and development with if 2 companies who maybe are in different countries working together could have a trouble, or simply quarantine at an office could lead to people not being able to go and do their job. It's definitely going to cause slowdowns for a lot of things. So basically what I'm saying is Metroid Prime 4 is even farther away now.
Well, here's a question. Do you think we're going to see a pushback of Cyberpunk?
Oh, no. Wow.
No. It has to come out, dude. It has to come out.
Push back to, they pushed back as far as
it has to come out then.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
It has to come out.
If they were going to go for it,
they got to get it out before. They got to get it out before PlayStation 5 is going to come out.
You think PlayStation 5 might get pushed back?
Well, I mean, that is something that is really crazy, is that we're going into a new console generation without E3. Like that is very kind of wild.
Yeah.
Well, and at the same time, it will probably all hopefully be settled down by the PS5 launch, but you can't have launch parties potentially. You can't have these mass gatherings. A lot of cities are banning mass gatherings and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
except for Boston, they're still doing their pub crawl
for now.
You have to
for now.
Oh, that's a disaster. That's gonna set the stage. If something happens and people like record break infection, like that's going to send a shockwave across the country.
Who better to do it than a group of drunk people on St. Patty's Day?
Chicago, we canceled our parade. We're not even dyeing the river, I heard.
I mean, I tell you right now, alcohol is the catalyst for most bad decisions, so it makes sense.
Yep,
it is interesting because I even talked about it with Gina last night. I was like, the worst case scenario in this is like we could be facing and this is like very extreme, you know what I mean? But let's say things don't get under control, or this mutates into something else. So like these things keep happening.
Yep.
We could be seeing the end of kind of giant gatherings in general. in some ways.
Sure.
And that is, I don't know, that's kind of a weird, it was like a weird, sad thing to even think about.
Yeah.
And it's something that I didn't really appreciate until like last night when the NBA canceled its games, and Jim actually texted me and he was like, yo, at least we got to see 2 this year. And I was like, fuck, man, I'm super glad we went to those 2 NBA games this year. You know what I mean? And like, because it would be wild to me if like that just,
no, absolutely,
you know, started happening in high school gyms essentially. You know what I mean? And tickets were $9,000 because you can't get them.
No, it's
you know,
if there's,
I don't know.
Yeah, cancellation of like mass events, like you don't really think about it because it's been something that's always been part of your life. This is like sports games and things have always been there. You've always seen them. But like if those start getting canceled for over a year, like that's gonna change the economy,
man. Bans, like dude, Rage Against the Machine was having their reunion tour. Like they might not want to have a reunion tour next year. Like I don't know.
Yeah. It's and it will be interesting because you can't have like as much as online can replace a lot of things, you can't replace those experiences even with VR.
Exactly.
And that's coming from a huge nerd. Even I understand that. So it's just, it will never be the same without having those live experiences.
Yeah. I gotta say, I definitely err on the side of like, I don't think large gatherings being permanently banned like forever is a thing that I can really envision. Like, I don't think that's how humanity works. Unless like we hit some sort of matrix pod system, but I don't see that happening close enough. But it's like the thing that I'm like actually like kind of like this is a doomsday level scenario thinking too is like the life after all this might just be really different. Like right now, I mean I can only speak for myself and what I think in general, but I feel like, you know, it's not the hardest, at least in my city, to like get by and live a comfortable, decent enough life. Like rent's not too bad, prices aren't too bad. Like things might just get to a point where like life becomes really fucking hard for a while. Yeah. Like, yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. There's so many things we don't know, and where it's gonna go, nobody knows.
On the brink of hard mode.
Yeah. There you go. That's one way to look at it. But yeah, there's so much that we've never had something on this level affecting so much.
Yeah.
So fast. And so
quite literally a pandemic.
Yeah, it's new territory for everyone. And
it is. It's new. It is.
Yeah.
It is new territory. And it I think like people, you know, there's always going to be like your naysayers. And I think we're looking at a situation where hopefully everything gets under control, and it's going to be because of these situations, not in spite, you know, because of these cancellations, not in spite of it. You know what I mean? And I don't think people understand like how hard it is for something to spread worldwide. Like this has been doing and is going to continue to do. You know what I mean? If they're estimating that every country in the world is going to be, you know, have this, that's crazy. That is crazy, a very, very crazy, insane thing. Generally, you don't see that in diseases. You know what I mean? Like that does not happen. It
sticks to a region. It might make it across, but in a very small area. So
exactly.
Yeah. So this is definitely, it's been growing. The self-quarantine is going to help if a lot of people are able to stay in. I know not everyone's going to be able to. If a lot of people that have visited places that have been affected that we know about can stay in for about 2 weeks or so, in theory, again, we're not scientists on this. We have a good chance of kind of killing it from growing further and infecting others, and that's good because, you know, hopefully if everyone follows suit, then we don't have to worry about it. But if like even if one infected person goes out and gives it to somebody else, and now they have it for 2-3 weeks, and that person goes out 2 weeks later, like it's just going to keep progressing and it's going to keep spreading based on one person. So it's really important that you think about others over yourself in this sort of situation. Not going out when you absolutely don't have to. Definitely if you feel like you have something, a fever or anything, let someone know and quarantine yourself.
I gotta say that I just don't have enough faith in the average person's common sense to not expect it to get really like you're saying this, and I'm sure like a lot of the people that we hang out with feel the same way, but there is a complete other side of people who are going to be like, fuck that virus.
Did you see
no virus going to take me down.
Dude, did you see the guy in St. Louis?
Yep.
He tested positive, and then he takes his daughter and her friend to their school dance.
Yep.
Wait, no, I did see that. I
Yeah.
did see a meme about that one.
There was a
Yeah.
guy that had it and went to a bunch of bars. So like, there's some people that are like, yeah, I'm gonna infect people. This is fun.
Whatever. I'm saying, you know, and not even that. They're just like, whatever. I don't feel sick. You know what I mean? That's what they think. I don't feel sick. I'm not gonna let this. You know, there's tons of reasons.
Yeah.
It's like when you go into work sick and it's like, dude, we don't care if you can still work. We don't want to get sick, you asshole.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why these measures are needed too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And there's also the economic things, like people don't. We have, especially here in America, it's. I'm trying not to get too political, but you know what I mean. Like
we got to sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we do.
Yeah.
We have to. Like this kind of ties into it in a ways that like it's very frowned upon to miss work for any reason at a lot of companies. You know what I mean? Crunch is a real thing. Dedication is a real thing. Some people are just prone to being sick. Some people just have 1 year where they just get really sick. You know what I mean? These things fucking happen. And we're not really allowed to do that. Even us as streamers, Xwater, are never allowed to take a day off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Chuck. Yeah, I forget.
It's all good. It's all good.
You know what I mean? Well, yeah. You better not be taking any days off, motherfucker.
I know. I took today off for the podcast, but I told everyone like today's not a day.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's just there is a crazy aspect. The other thing is, you know, when you're talking about in Xwater, you don't have this problem, but uninsured people, not going, they're just straight up not going to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like, they're not willing to risk all of everything they have, their life savings, to go to the doctor, especially for a flu. If you're my age, that like, let's say you're my age and uninsured, that you know is probably not going to kill you, might kill your grandma, might kill your nephew, but it's not going to kill you. Like, you're just going to tough it out and not go to the doctor. You know what I mean? And so it's there is like this weird, like, we're right now in America in this, like, what do I want to say? Like these perfect situations for this to spread in a bad way. And hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it does get under control because these measures are being taken place. And hopefully it does all blow over. And if anybody wants to like hindsight and be like, see, I told you so, everyone was blown out of proportion, like, good. You know what?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, sure. Take that win for yourself. But honestly, it will be because of these precautions everybody's taking that it didn't go as far as it could have.
Good.
Because
but it is crazy.
Yeah. Because when we were first talking about you with the cancellation of sessions, like, or postpone. We were kind of like, it's we get why. Like, it kind of sucks. Like, probably nothing would happen, but you're doing your part, and it sucks for now, but you're doing your part even though it hurts you. But it's for the greater good. And
and I will say it's kind of crazy we made that decision, I think it was last Thursday right before this podcast, that decision got made for an event that happened on Tuesday. And now everything, and a lot of people said, you know, we were overreacting, and now to see what's happened since then, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm so relieved we didn't do that event and nothing bad did happen, because if something did bad happen at my event, and we're in the Pacific Northwest, we're in the hotbed. I actually have a confirmed case in my fucking neighborhood. I know that for a fact.
Oh, wow.
I'm lucky we don't leave. We don't have to leave the house. Like me, the wife, and the kid don't have to leave the house ever. We got everything we need right here. So it is just I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy. Crazy.
You know what else is crazy?
Tell me.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 launched its free-to-play, cross-play game.
Let's play this tomorrow.
Ooh.
Is it cross-platform?
Like, it's cross-platform, It's free-to-play, cross-platform.
And it's a battle royale, right?
And it's a battle royale with a cool new gimmick.
Yeah.
What is the gimmick?
Go for it.
It's called Gulag mode. So once you die, you're not like permadead. You go into this like prison, and you kind of get shot into life or death battles with other prisoners, with the possibility of like coming back to life, like 1v1 duel kind of battles with like people who are also dead.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah,
what's
that's
ironic about
cool.
it is life is a prison, but when you die, you go to prison now too. So now there's 2 prisons. Damn.
Damn,
That's kind of cool.
getting deep.
Yeah,
Life
but
is
no,
just
yeah.
a prison, man.
That is an interesting way to do it, and it gets that one-on-one what's the practice in, which is
Yeah.
cool. So because
And
you don't get that
if-
very often. Sometimes
If there's one bummer of a thing to happen in a BR, it's you're playing with 3-4 your buddies or whatever,
Mhm.
and
And you
you're like
die.
10 minutes into the round, and you're dead, and you gotta
Yeah.
wait for them. So this
Yeah.
is I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
It's-
then they go on to win. It's the worst.
Yeah.
This addresses like the biggest like problem with making a BR fun for the whole group, and that's giving the dead person something to do. Like it's perfect.
Yeah. Is it only one death per match that throws you in this, or can you die 5 times and get back
I have no
5
idea.
times? Yeah. Well,
I have no idea.
maybe we check that out because
Yeah, we can do
it's
some
Friday.
research. We can do some
I'm a
in-game
streamer.
research.
I'm in for Friends Friday. It's been a hot minute for me.
I know Clippy's playing it. He'd probably be down to join us.
Oh,
All right, done.
the Clippy.
The
Done.
_Clippy.
No, the Clippy.
The
We call him
Clippy.
Clippy now.
Oh, Clippy.
Will you guys play Lego Mario with me when it comes out?
Hey, yeah. As long as
Well-
I'm not quarantined, I'm right over,
Well,
man.
as long as there's
Yeah.
only like 4 to 5 of us, because anymore and it's a mass gathering.
Well, no. Did you guys see the Lego Mario set
Yeah.
that got announced?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they made the teaser, what did you think was coming?
I thought it would just be like traditional like
Yeah.
Mario sets.
Yeah.
Like Lego. I mean, that's what I really want. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like the Mushroom Kingdom, like Peach's Castle.
Yeah, like make
Yep.
would be
Peach's
amazing.
Castle
Bowser-
set. Yeah.
Bowser's airship.
Yeah.
Like you could do a lot, like a cool pipe plumber area.
Mhm.
There's a lot I felt like they could have done. And also I wanted like Mario and Luigi minifigs like
Yeah.
really badly. But I do think what they did instead is cool, but it's like an interactive Lego set
Yeah.
type thing. It's definitely different. You know what I
It's
mean?
very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that screen works on the Mario figurine, because I know
Right.
when he touches the box, his screen shows up. But now, does he have the programming in him to do those animations, or does the box send the video? Because could I potentially reverse engineer that to put the Grand Pooh Bear logo on Mario's chest?
I hope so.
Like, who knows? I would hope so. I would hope that they
I'd
thought
imagine
the
they
reverse way, because it's a lot more versatile. They can release new sets later on that update without having to get a new Mario flashed or something.
I have to think
Mhm.
that's
I would
gonna
yeah.
be
That's
yeah.
going to be reverse engineered like within 2 days. People are going to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ham on
yeah.
that. So that will be cool.
Yeah.
But
I-
I'm with you, Pooh. I kind of wish for a traditional set. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
been in the big Lego game. I know with you and your son, like that's going to be huge. This is
Yeah,
gonna be,
that is
this
gonna be cool.
This is great timing for you.
Yeah.
Can't
Um,
wait.
But like, I hope we see a traditional set come from this.
Yes.
And like, this is like a nice like let's explore this and bring digital to Legos. They've had digital
totally
stuff,
agree.
but not like this.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
totally agree though.
Yeah.
I do hope this is just the beginning of their relationship and we
Yeah.
do see more traditional spend 12 hours building a 7,000 piece set, because it did like Labo before this, which is kind of disappointing in some ways. Like this is really geared towards kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just think like Nintendo's really missing that whole aspect of like
Adults.
a lot of adults are loving your
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they said Lego and Mario, like every single Nintendo nerd out there was like, I want to spend hundreds of dollars on this,
Yeah.
please.
I've been waiting for this
Um,
forever. Do you think?
Yeah.
So one of my when I first saw the announcement, I was kind of thinking maybe we're getting a Mario Maker Lego theme.
That's what I
That,
thought as
I
well.
also thought that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
What-
Lego
Or
bricks.
or Lego game. Yeah, Lego Nintendo or Lego
right,
Mario.
yeah, like
Oh my God,
Lego
a
Mario
Lego-
World.
Well, yeah, I would love a Nintendo Lego, like Nintendo World Lego game.
Oh my
with-
god.
Yeah,
all
like the
characters.
same way they do like
Yoshi.
Harry Potter and Batman and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. 100%.
And we
Yeah,
might
that's
see
what I
those.
thought was coming.
I think if this relationship goes well with the physical stuff, we're going to see a lot more collaboration with them, with Nintendo during their side of things with Lego.
Yeah.
And like Lego makes some good games and Nintendo makes
Well,
some good games. So
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
also announced the Levi's collaboration right
Oh,
at the
yeah.
same time
That's
too,
true.
which they dude.
I gotta
Did you
go
see
to
the
Levi's, dude.
overalls? Yeah, the overalls are like super fire.
Yeah,
like, which I never
actually
thought I
wanna
would
go
say
pick
that.
up some of
They're
that stuff.
kind of dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really dope.
oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I would never wear a jean jacket, but if I did,
Yeah.
it would be the Levi's Mario jean
Sure.
jacket. Yeah, Xwater's Canadian, so he's obviously
Yeah, he's got the
going to
Canadian
buy that one.
tuxedo.
I get the pass. I get the
fine.
pass.
obviously
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
he can rock that. I
He
cannot
can
swing that.
rock it. Well, do you think you'll be able to pick up this Lego set at GameStop? Or do you
know
have
what?
to go to a toy store?
With what's coming to GameStop's future, I think maybe.
What's coming to their future?
It was
Bankruptcy?
announced. It was announced earlier last week, that Reggie Fies Amie, former Nintendo of America president,
I know him well. Yeah.
is appointed to be on the board of directors at GameStop alongside former Walmart CEO William Bill Simmons, and the current PetSmart president and CEO James.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Simon
perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. So GameStop, with these three big players coming in, I think shows a big shift in retail strategy. Personally, I think they've already been leaning towards like less of like we sell games and more of like we sell merch. And I think, bam, like that's gotta be what this is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, they're not, you know what? Credit to them. They're not just like folding over and dying,
Yeah.
which is kind of what I thought they would.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure the Corona stuff's definitely not helping right now either.
No,
for them. So
definitely not.
Like this is definitely bad for them.
Bad timing, yeah.
But it will be interesting to see what these CEOs of former companies can do to help GameStop, especially with Reggie. There's been a lot of excitement around that. People being like, Reggie's going to take over and
yeah,
do
I thought he'd just stay in retirement.
Yeah, well, when you get paid enough, you come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
There's two parts of me that think either like I don't think Reggie's somebody that's in it for the recognition, but a lot of these positions, like you can make a small difference, but not a huge difference. And so, like for him, if GameStop came back from the brink of death with him on the board, that's good for him. That helps him sell his public speaking and more things and all that, which is great. But if it also fails, it doesn't hurt him honestly as a person, because he's going to be able to say, yeah, I was whatever.
I'm fine.
I tried. But yeah, I mean, him being a spokesman for Pizza Hut back in the day, he was head of marketing at Pizza Hut. He's had so much experience. It's crazy to think like where he's gone and where he's ended up now. So he's definitely like one of the men for this job that could definitely turn something around.
Yeah.
Speaking of people able to turn things around, GDQ's been a lot more fun since they got involved.
It's just there's so many different ways you could bring that.
Yeah.
You know?
Should we head on over to our interview?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I'm on the same page. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go on and get our guest right on in here.
Joining us this week, a very special guest. Super excited about it. One of the voices of GDQ, quite possibly the most stylish person at GDQ. Year in and year out. I see her rocking those fabulous fits. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for KungFuFruitCup.
Hi. Welcome to the show.
We'll put in artificial applause, so a lot of people.
We say we will, but we probably won't. Here, hold on.
We will.
Check
I have
this
it on
out.
my stream deck. Do you want me to use it myself?
Yes,
Me
please.
too.
Yes,
there.
like
There we go.
Welcome.
I have like a boo, and I have the child's yay, and I have like different types of clapping.
I was watching your stream the other day, and you had like the one for the high five, and honestly, A tier production on that. Like,
yeah,
it
that's
was
just on my
hilarious.
GoXLR. I recorded myself clapping. And I have a bunch of them.
You did, like, you finished off a hard task, and you're like, "We did it! You beat what's it called? The pit in Mario Paper Mario
100 Trials.
Yeah, and you're like, "Let's go, guys!" And you just kept high fiving the camera. I was laughing, dude.
Well, it's one of my channel point rewards,
Oh,
so people
I
can
gotcha.
redeem high fives.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I've made every one of my channel point rewards absolutely worthless. I just give them funny names, and people spam it, and that's it.
Yeah,
my only
that
useful
works.
ones are like stay hydrated, so I have to drink water, and then feeding, like petting one of the dogs, or like giving them treats.
Oh, that's good.
But I have a limit on that.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
I have one that's a million
on
points.
the pets or the treats?
Yeah. Yes.
To both.
Yes.
To both.
Yes. I have one that's a million points, and it's for it is a pyramid on timeout. So if you try to pyramid in my channel and you're not successful, you get timed out for 10 minutes. So people just see it as a challenge to try to complete a timeout, and everybody else tries to interrupt them. So if you want to try to untime yourself out, you can spend 1 million points on it, which first of all would take 3 months of like consistent viewership to get. And second of all, you can't use channel points when you time out. So it's absolutely worthless.
I was going to say, I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So yes, I want to add more stuff like that does nothing.
Yeah, I think that's like the most common channel point use at this point is just like waste your points on something completely pointless.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's which I don't know if that means it's a good feature or not, Twitch, but you know,
well, people are having fun with it, which means it's good. I would say probably.
I love their email that's like gave like 10 suggestions. Oh my god,
I don't like that.
Yes.
Dab.
Yeah, I think that's why I didn't
Number
like that
7,
email.
dab.
Yeah, and the description, dab.
Yeah.
Nope.
I skipped right over that one.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's cool. Somebody has one that's only 69 points, and it just says nut.
That's great. That I'm sure that gets used a lot.
It does. He doesn't even do anything. That's just all it is.
Dude, I was doing that Breath of the Wild dog % run, and I made one that was called Good Pup Energy, and it was 420 points. And every time I fed a dog, my chat moved faster than GDQ chat on a world record with dog energy. It was wild. Like people were just going at it.
I love that.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah, they can be fun. They can be fun.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of GDQ, Kung Fu, you are a huge part of it now. Tell us kind of like how you like got involved with GDQ and speedrunning and even Twitch, like starting out.
It's actually all kind of connected.
Okay.
Bam, there
so
we go.
I had heard about Twitch a while ago from I'd heard about it through like Twitch Plays Pokemon, like the first time they'd ever done that.
Fossil.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was cool, but I didn't really make an account or anything. And then I was having friends over, and they showed me an old Siglemic Mario 64 speedrun.
Okay.
It was just like a YouTube video or something, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" You know, the first time you ever see a speedrun, you're like, "What?" Like it's just total mind blow.
This is a person?
Yes, like this happens. I'm like, this happens with all of the games that I grew up loving because I'm very nostalgic. Like I replay a lot of old games and all of that. So I just got really into it. I got really excited about the idea, made an account on Twitch, started following people. And then I found Snarfy Bobo's channel, and I watched him play Sunshine a lot and started talking in there. Thought it was really cool. Then I decided to try it. And then within like 2 months of streaming, I'm like, I want to meet all my new friends at SGDQ. So I went to my first GDQ. It was SGDQ 2014. Now I've been to like, I think like 12 or so.
2014. It's a long time ago. Yeah.
SGDQ 2014, the one time they had it in Denver.
Oh man, I'm super jealous of that. I wish SGDQ would go to Denver so badly.
Same. I wanted to go back to Denver. I have so many friends and family there.
I would kill for farther west GDQ.
Yeah.
That might be against like the charities though.
Well, it also
Anyway.
I think, and I can't say this for sure, but I think it also depends on like equipment stuff and what kind of deals they're making with hotels and if they have contracts and.
Denver's got equipment, baby.
I'm not saying that as an official. This is not like an official representative of GDQ right now because I don't know 100% for sure.
Yeah, obviously, we're all just speculating here, and that's the beauty of this podcast. We can speculate and pass it as fact.
Yeah,
exactly.
This podcast is 100% pure speculation.
Pure speculation, but we say it with authority, so it comes off as true.
Say it confidently enough, people will believe you.
Exactly.
So allegedly, my first GDQ was 2014.
There's no proof of this.
Yeah. I won't show you my badge. So then I was attending every year, and then I don't know why it took me until I think like late 2016, 2017 to actually start volunteering. And I was like, hit myself for it. I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? I feel like donation reading and hosting is just something that's really fun, and I was like, I could do it. I didn't know why I didn't try sooner. But I finally got into it. I love it. And it's something that I still apply for. I need to send my audition in tonight for SGDQ, hoping that we have an SGDQ. Yeah. And then started doing that for a little while. And then 2018, I remember I I was at a Twitch partner party and I was with like Darkman and Spike and some people. We were talking and they were asking me about a few things, and then I expressed interest, and I'm like, if you ever have any room on the interview team or anything like that, like let me know. I would love to, you know, put my name in the hat. And then he was like, well, actually, we might be trying out some new people and your name came up. So it's really good to hear that you're interested. So it was kind of like a right place, right time thing.
Yeah,
because then they ended up, they tried like me and Keys and a few others out at that SGDQ, and they liked us enough to be like, all right, well, you two nerds can keep interviewing for us. And then we came on full time within the year, and here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think that's a good lesson about like sometimes you just got to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta get out there. If you want something, go make it happen. Ask about it. Keep trying for it. Work for it. You know, put in the effort.
just ask.
People see the effort that you put into things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With GDQ auditions, essentially, like there's always lots of talk about like how strict they are on things. Like what's been your experience with that, and you know what can you share about it?
Ever since they reformatted how they do their hosting auditions, I have only been accepted about 50% of the time.
50,
and you're interviewer. You're on the interview team.
Yeah, you're a veteran.
And
everything's 50-50, guys. I told you.
I mean, just keep that in mind. I love that. Yeah.
So I will say that the it was like probably 4 or 5 times since they've like redid their format. And then one time I got denied, and another time I was a backup host and ended up hosting for Ocarina of Time. But it is definitely more strict, and they have so many applicants that they can only accept so many people at once.
Yep.
And so they have to be really stringent on like, okay, well, we can only do this many. So their point system is out of 50. And I feel like this is okay to say because they're very transparent with you if you ask for details.
Yeah.
Like they're really, really nice about giving feedback, actually. Even if it takes a little bit, they will. I have never not received detailed information about my audition when I ask for it. So I can get like an entire breakdown of my scoring and how it's scored, and like any notes that were said about, like written down about me specifically, I've been able to read, which is honestly really helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are definitely things to watch out for. Like they give you a list of donations that you pick from to read, and you definitely have to be very careful. They include a lot more donations than a host would typically get, that like in terms of the negative ones you wouldn't want to read, because usually there's a filter.
I lost a lot of points for reading out Max E pads my first audition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything that seems suspicious at all, just don't read. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
you
do
didn't
it.
hear that one?
I saw Max and I was like, they asked in the video or in the email, they're like, we're like honor system, don't do more than one take. And you know, if there's one thing I got, man, it's honor. So I was like, all right, fine, I made my mistake. Submit.
And you just submitted. I mean, like, come on.
Shoot your shot, baby. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I figured part of the audition is showing how well you can recover as well. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a lot of your energy and then your ability to kind of figure out what's the best time to read what and when. And so just having that knowledge from previous GDQs helps. And then from there, you just have to fine tune, like, to make sure you don't read literally anything bad. If you question a number, don't read it. If you like question a name, if you can get it, like, if there's a really big donation, but it has a message that is really iffy or like not great, you can read the donation and the person and not read the message. There are like little tricks like that are technically allowed, but it's really a judgment call. So, I mean, anybody who's new to this isn't going to just know that off the bat.
That's true.
So
Right. Yeah.
So even if you do submit an audition and you don't get accepted, like ask for feedback. It'll help you learn. It's really, really useful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the record, if you want to audition to read at MMC, we strongly encourage you reading all those funny numbers and names.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's very different.
That's pretty much the basis
That's like
of
the
our
only
donations.
reason. That's like 60% of them is like, all right, and we got one from Ligma coming in with $6.90.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. The different ways they try and type out dick jokes is amazing.
Man.
And
I'm always impressed.
I feel like the
Great.
audition for MMC is also, do you want to read donations?
Yeah.
All right, you're
It
in.
feels like doing it right now. We just kind of
Are you
pick
in
someone
Vegas?
out of the group.
Are you in Vegas and willing to hold this right now?
That's an interesting point, though, that we can kind of talk a little bit more about. So compared to like your average streaming event, like GDQ has a very like, it has a very strong structure to it. Has that ever been a challenge to work with, or has that always been for you kind of easier to navigate and just kind of natural?
I have experienced some difficulties with the GDQ schedule, but I wouldn't say any of it is for like a very straightforward reason. It's not like I totally have been through this. It's the shifting schedule.
That's got to be like the hardest part, because it's so hard to like submit a speed run.
It's hard for everybody.
I'll be exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes.
It's hard for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that happens, or your run goes way over estimate, or like, because like stuff messes up, or you're just like, oh, this one trick that I didn't think would worked, and now I'm 30 minutes early, and you're like, okay. So I will say I used to do donations in head donation station as well, and the reason I don't do that anymore is not because it wasn't cool. It's a great volunteering spot, but you have a block of time that you work during, and that never moves. But your interviews or your hosting shifts always shift.
Yeah.
So I've had to like get somebody to man my station for like 10 minutes while I ran over and did an interview and then came back, because at first it didn't overlap. And then as time moved on, it started to. And so I had to like talk to people beforehand and stuff. So nowadays I can only do hosting and interviews because they'll never really overlap with each other. Yeah, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
The only time I had it actually overlap like that was this past Frost Fatale event, where I did an interview and then immediately hosted, and I was like, "Thanks, me, good job." Interview. Like, all right.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's that can be difficult, because then you don't know if your interview is something going to be 2 hours earlier, and you have to make sure you know where your runner is. I actually had this past CDQ. One of my interviewees, it was like, can we curse in here? No.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it was ass
yeah.
o'clock, and I had like the first interview of the day, and I came down for it, and it was early. Because we had shifted forward and then back again overnight, so it was early.
That's what's really hard about GDQ schedule too, is when it goes, you're like, oh, it's delayed 3 hours, and then you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I got to be down there right now.
Yes, yeah. So especially when it's early in the morning, like your first interview, right? And so thank God I was like, just in case, my body will stress wake me up for things that are like that.
Yeah.
It'll stress wake me up a lot, because it's like don't miss it, don't miss your interview, don't do something wrong. So like I woke up early and I was like, oh my God, it's the other run is almost over. I got to get down there soon. So I was like down in time. The runner had not shown up yet, and we were like, what do we do? Do we do the interview? Like, I was like, prizes? I don't know. Do you want me to do something? So like the last second, they're like, okay, just do prizes. And then she came down like right before. She was like, I rolled out of bed. I just saw that we were doing it. So we ended up doing the interview and prizes together. But you have to be ready to be like, okay, all right, we have time.
Yeah.
Here's some prizes. Like, here you go. So that can be a little stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. So for running in GDQs, I think I tried to do some background check. You have run in at least one with Kirby, correct?
No, I've only ever couched and commentated.
Oh, okay. The video had your name.
Yeah.
But I was on a mobile
I've submitted.
device.
I've submitted, but all the games that I run were ran by world record holders were there.
You know what?
And it
As a
makes
dude
more
who's
sense
only
than
run Mario Odyssey and Mario 64, I feel that. I feel that.
You know, I think people underestimate how hard it is to get into GamesDoneQuick at this point in time.
Yeah,
like especially
sure.
now.
Oh, for sure.
Even since I've been going since 2016, and it feels considerably harder for everybody now. People, I mean, you have people that are willing to come every single year that are the best at those games. You know what I mean? Like your ZFGs, your Mitch Flower Powers. You know what I mean? Like you just can't touch those games unless they'll race you. And it's just like outside of that, like speedrunning in general now, like there's just someone that's willing to grind every single game into the dirt at this point. you know.
I mean,
so-
which is cool. It makes
difficult.
it really interesting, and you have a lot more activity that you can
Yeah.
look at.
And GDQ is a big
Yeah.
credit
Yeah.
for a lot of that activity too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your background outside of gaming a little bit. I heard you have a BFA in video and animation.
I do.
Yes.
I do. So
Tell us
with
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to school. Okay, my college career was interesting. I did
Ooh.
one semester at one school.
What
and
school?
then
Like, just walk us through this whole thing.
Okay. I went to JMU,
Mhm.
which is in Virginia, and then I
Yeah.
switched to
I have
VCU.
a friend actually that went to JMU.
Well,
that
you
I
have two
still
friends.
remember.
You
Oh,
now have
cool.
two
Yeah.
friends.
So they had a
You have
good
two
media
friends
arts
that
and
went to
design
JMU.
program,
Yes.
and I was interested in doing that. And I was like, and it's beautiful out there. And then I realized there's nothing to do, and I don't drink, so ooh, that's not good. So then second semester I transferred back closer to me around VCU, and then I still was like very unsure of myself, unhappy, not doing well in school. I was withdrawing, I was failing some classes, like wasn't great. And so then I took a year off, and my parents were very supportive. I got an internship in LA and moved out and did an internship for 6 months. And then for the rest of my time there, I worked on a couple of like small things, and I did yoga teacher training. And I'm certified, dual certified in Hatha and Kundalini yoga for a 200-hour
Oh,
certification.
snap.
Damn.
Yeah. This is a while ago, but it was cool. It was a huge learning experience for me because I was young and I felt very isolated out there. But like, it kind of helped me grow up in some ways. And then I came back to school and I got myself into the art school there, and I did a business. I have a business minor on my diploma, and then I should also have a French minor. But that's I had like one weird thing with like my freshman year French class that like didn't count on my degree, which was annoying. But so I technically should have a major in video and animation and 2 minors in business and French.
Overachiever.
And
I
certification
like
in yoga to top it off. Impressive. Yeah.
It's weird. I'm very like ADD. I am ADD. I do have ADD, but I've always been like jack of all tradesy. So the degree was because, well, I'd been taking French since like 4th grade. So I was like, I want to not completely forget the language. And then the art and business were because I wanted to work at Pixar originally.
Okay.
Mhm.
It was like I took my time in LA to figure out like, okay, what do you want to do? What kind of impact do you want to have in the world? Like, who are you? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
So I just was like, I want to have an impact on, I want to be able to have an emotional impact on someone where at the end of the day, they're better off than they were before. Or it makes them think, or it makes them feel in a good way. And, you know, Pixar films did that for me growing up, and I really appreciated and respected a lot of what they did. So I was like, that's where I want to work. And then I found streaming, and then everything changed.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find streaming and everything changes.
And everything
It's
changes.
like your own personal way to have that kind of impact
It
on
really
people around
is.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like a similar feel to the kind of impact or experience I wanted to give to others. And I feel very fortunate, and I love it.
Yeah. It feels
Has
head on
that,
the nail for what you were aiming for. Cause I mean, you do get to make a really positive impact on your entire audience's like day, week, month, life even, right? Like you can be that encouraging voice that's like, you know what, you got this, dude. You can fucking nail whatever obstacles in your way. You know, you're a bulldozer.
Yeah, sometimes. Unless you're like a regular in my chat, and then I get really sassy with you. But
I want to use that question 10 times. Fuck off.
yeah.
That's
I'm like,
how-
no, you can't do that again. All right, just Kendall.
Stop trying to
Ken,
pyramid,
time out.
idiot.
Yeah.
Bam.
It's great. It's great.
As that
Yeah.
background, though, in video animation, has that helped with your stream?
Yeah,
Has that ever
actually, it has a
applied?
little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Fortunately enough. Yeah, because with anything that I've wanted to do, like, let's say, like, creatively on YouTube, I've been able to, or just, like, setting up camera work or knowing how to light myself properly, or, like, my lighting's, like, okay.
Oh,
but
shit. Lighting.
yeah.
Lighting.
Learning how to light properly is good.
Yeah.
You know, because we had classes on that, and I already had some basics on how to work with a mixer. And then I've been working on digital media stuff like since high school, really. So knowing how to use Photoshop, After Effects, and Premiere,
Yeah.
and Flash, and all of that was something that I had in my wheelhouse, which is good. So a lot of the effects on my stream, unless they look like they're custom drawn, like a lot of them I've done myself. Like I've made my layouts, and you know,
Flash is definitely coming in handy nowadays.
That was a very minimal amount with that.
Yo, Spelunky was a Flash game back in the day.
Yeah.
That's true. That a lot of amazing games that we play now started as Flash games. So.
Absolutely.
Was Celeste a Flash game too?
Wasn't Celeste
was a
a Pico game? Isn't that the whole Easter egg with like the thing inside Celeste?
I thought it was, and it was like a game jam thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think they game jammed it. No, I think that's the whole story. Yeah,
that's the whole story.
The older version, you can like play. You can like play the kind of like OG-ish version. Like they put that in the game.
Like the
you can
library
play
level. You run into the old computer and yeah.
That's
a great Easter egg in that game. Fantastic game all around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just backpedaling a little bit because we talked a little bit about you getting into like getting involved in GDQ. But so when was like the I want to stream moment for you? Like when did that like really click for you and hit? And like how did you start actually broadcasting?
Okay, not full time. You just mean in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about both though.
Yeah.
Okay.
One and then two.
So I mean, it was like when I found, since I started watching speedrunners, and then I found, like I said, Snarfy's channel, and I saw kind of like his personality and his interactions with his community, and I'm like, oh, it's cool in here. It's actually really chill. Like, maybe I'll say hi. And then, I had the whole experience of like building up in my first community and actually getting to know people, and I'm still like really close to some of the original people that I met through that channel, which is awesome. And yeah, it was within like 2 months of me being active that I was like, I don't know, this seems really cool. I just kind of want to try it out. Like, it seems cool. I don't know. I think it would be really fun to just play games. And I was too afraid to speedrun, so I did not speedrun for the first couple months of streaming.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. But, I was watching people like Fi and Snarf and Talon and Sig and people like that at first, and then so I don't know, I just built around those communities, and then I just tried my first stream. I got really impatient, tested it out, and my first main game that I played was Paper Mario, because it's my favorite game. And and I was streaming off of like my old MacBook laptop, like before OBS worked for it.
Everyone's first stream was on a laptop, I feel like.
Yes. And it was, again, it was like before OBS was like working in Mac. So I had to use like 5 different programs to make all the audio and video and game capture properly.
I would argue that OBS still doesn't work on Mac.
I mean,
it works, but
when you're not gaming, it's fine.
Yeah, but...
And it's a little CPU heavy, but... I mean, I use it like because I do most of my browsing and art and stuff on Mac. Like we literally had Apple products since I was like 2. Like we've had, that's what I actually grew up on. So that's what I'm used to. But just having that forever, or just like, it's just easier for me to use.
Yeah.
So when I'm not doing gaming related stuff, I'll like stream on the Mac side for like cooking streams or Lego or whatever I'm doing.
So I don't hate on any operating system. I run Windows, Mac, Linux. I do all 3 because they're tools for the right job. My experience with Mac and OBS has always been pretty bad in terms of CPU, where it's like it's the same CPU in an Intel or in a Windows system, and yet it's not.
It just hogs a lot more. Yeah. It's much more resource heavy. So if there was like a tool around that, be a little better.
Yeah. It's disappointing is what it is for OBS on Mac.
Yeah. It's like harder to like partition off how much you're letting your system use as opposed to how you can do that on Windows.
Yeah.
Always been a Windows boy.
That's really funny.
Nice and
I feel like that's how it is for a lot of people though. Like their first
stream.
Your first streams are always
you're bootstrapping,
Right. Yeah. So like now I'm building my Hackintosh for all my new editing stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, because it's not cheaper. But it's funny because people are like, it is. People will walk into the office and be like, oh my God. Or, they'll see pictures of something and be like, how much does all this cost? Like, how did you build this? And I'm like, I've been streaming for almost 6 years. Like, you build it bit by bit.
Yeah.
You don't just buy all of this at once. Like, you just every little bit.
So, some people think they can skip a step by buying all that at once. And like, oh, if I have all this stuff, then I'd be a huge streamer.
They forgot the step where you have to develop the skills.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean
burn.
anything. Like just because you have the equipment, it means you could make your space look nice, but that doesn't directly relate to your quality of content.
Exactly.
Yeah. You could have the worst setup, but your content, your personality can get through a
Think about people who don't even use camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest streamers in the world don't even use a camera.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest streamers
no
in the
overlay,
world
no
use
camera, no
very
alerts,
bad microphones and cameras.
Yeah.
Dude, no shade, but Barb's microphone for a long time was really bad. Like really bad.
When he first started streaming, I offered him to buy one.
Yeah, I remember you telling us about that.
I think I just donated it.
Yeah.
To him. So speaking of expensive equipment, I'm going to go ahead and transfer here. This is actually something I was just in the I'm in the market for a VR set because I want to play the new Half-Life, obviously.
Yes.
And I was told to DM you about virtual reality sets. And I was told you own quite a few at this point. So how did you kind of get into the deep VR game, if you will?
I own 2 headsets and I'm borrowing a third.
Oh, borrowing a third.
Yes. So
you've acquired a third headset.
I'm testing it, but my friend, he can take it back anytime. He lives like 5 minutes away. So I'm just borrowing it, but it's been really good.
It's not mine, I swear.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. I'll let you know when I need it back.
Yeah.
So I know you see me look off to the side. I'm like, there are my controllers. So I grew up playing a lot of DDR. I loved it. That was like my main rhythm game. I just loved it. It was so much fun. I'd be like, I'm getting a workout and I like rhythm games a lot because I like music a lot. And then I was interested in VR to begin with, but I didn't have a lot of experience with it. But I knew about games like Beat Saber, and I thought it'd be cool to try. And I saw a good deal on Vive, and then the wireless adapter was like on sale for something, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get it, and we'll just like test it out. And then one day I decided to be brave enough to do it on stream and like try out Beat Saber on stream, and I was like, oh my god, this is really cool.
I can play
and
for so
then the
long
obsession
now.
began. Yeah. And then I got really bad, and now I play a couple times a week on stream, and I'm really obsessed with it. And it's really, really fun because it's just another like movement heavy rhythm game that's it's great. And I don't get motion sickness like that, so I don't have to worry about it in the headset.
Yep.
So I've been able to experiment. I'm sorry, I just paused my audio recording. Don't worry about it because my screen turned off and I hit the space bar.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Our
I'm
editors
so
are getting
sorry.
charged
Booted
us
from the
I'm
interview.
so sorry.
Get out. You're no.
Okay, no, it's over. It's over. I'll go. I'm sorry. I'll see you guys soon.
Done.
Banned for
Okay,
10
anyway.
minutes.
Yeah, I get it like a pyramid timeout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a Vive and a Vive Cosmos, and I'm borrowing an Index, a Valve Index, and so I've been able to kind of like test out the differences in quality. My favorite controllers are definitely, for general use, the Valve Index controllers.
Okay.
They are the cool. I mean, I can show you real quick if you want to get up and grab them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't-
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's an audio podcast, but we'll just describe them.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't
okay,
worry.
great.
We're filling the time while you walk away. So
Okay, hang on one sec.
So yeah,
While she's gone, you guys want to hear a joke?
Yeah, all right.
Yes,
let's hear
give me a joke.
Why did the cowboy buy a dash hound?
No.
I have controllers.
He wanted to get along, little doggy.
Here's the headset. Okay, here's that.
That's,
God damn it.
yeah, that's fair.
It's my favorite joke.
That's
my
pretty good
favorite
joke.
joke right now.
It's a good joke.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so
Womp, womp, womp.
based on my
story.
experience,
Okay.
Okay.
if you're playing Beat Saber only, I actually prefer the original Vive controllers.
Those are massive.
Yeah.
That's the original Vive.
Yeah.
These are the original Vive controllers.
original
They
Vive.
also are the same ones for the Vive Pro and for the Vive Cosmos Elite, which is new.
Is it because like it has a good like weight, a big grip for it? Why you like it for Beat Saber?
Yes, it feels like a saber handle.
Yes, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So take this and compare it with the controller for the Cosmos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the way that you grip it is different.
The Cosmos looks more like the Oculus.
It looks more
controller,
like-
too.
Yeah, it looks a
Yes,
lot like the Oculus controller.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely more functional like that. It has an actual joystick. So like
Uh-huh.
in terms of usability, it's good. Like you have a little like button click here. it makes sense for like more general gaming in VR,
Mhm.
but you don't have that nice like handle grip you would for like Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna saber some stuff. Okay.
I want to cut.
I'm surprised
wanna
there's
do
not
both.
like Beat Saber's so popular. I'm surprised there isn't just like straight up
Adapters and
Saber
stuff.
controllers.
I feel
at
like
this
the
point,
reason they did the Vive Cosmos Elite is for like a like heavy Beat Saber players.
Yeah.
So
I've
the,
seen
Elite-
someone attach the Vive controllers to a staff and use
did you
that.
see Adam Savage make one?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, Adam Savage made saber handles for his I think it was an Oculus.
More
and
people
I'm
need
like,
to do this.
I want those so bad. I want them so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The index controllers, based on my experience, are definitely the most comfortable
Oh, that is
and
an
they're the
interesting
coolest.
looking controller. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. So here's you have a strap that you can tighten or loosen.
Oh.
that's nice.
You don't have to hold
Got
on to it.
grips.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And there's sensors in this
Yeah, for your
part,
fingers.
this part, and this part. So you have a joystick, but then you also have basically
Like
finger
individual
sensors.
can
finger
grab.
controls.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So-
why
so
you
it
see all
knows
the
if
individual
you're-
fingers
It
moving in like the
knows.
game. That's super
Mhm.
cool. That's
Yeah,
super
so-
cool.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Shit,
it's
now
definitely
I
the
want an
most
index.
comfortable. Yeah, and it seems the most functional. In
Yeah.
terms of like resolution, refresh rate, and field of view, the Index headset is also the best. But I
Mhm.
really do like the flip up headset on the Vive Cosmos. Like you can actually like, I think
Yeah,
it's
like you-
in my closet right now.
Kind of like
You
those
can-
glasses with sunglasses, and you flip up the
Yeah.
sunglasses part.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
But you know, you can actually because you can actually see your surroundings. Then. So you can actually like
Yeah.
flip up part of the headset to see, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And now
Well,
they
the-
finally released the wireless adapter portion for that because they needed to give you like a different cable and a stronger battery.
Mhm,
So that's
mhm.
finally out. So you can actually play the on the Cosmos wirelessly, which I have yet to test. And the reason why I haven't done that yet, and the reason why I'm still using this headset, is because of the tracking. Tracking is really important in VR.
Yeah.
And people like the idea of not having to put base stations up, but like, man, are you losing good tracking when you do that?
Yeah.
So having a space where you're just not going to move your VR headset and you can install a base station, like do that because it tracks you so much better than inside out cameras.
How much space do you need?
I think you need a, like
Realistically.
3x5 minimum. No,
Yeah.
more than that.
It's like
Got that space.
it's like a 6x8.
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 Okay,
Something like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
It's recommended.
Yeah.
Recommended. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get away with smaller
6x8.
depending on the game.
You can
but a
also do
lot-
like seated VR, but yeah, they
Yeah.
really want you to have like a range of space to move and like reach
Yeah.
your arms out without hitting stuff. So
Yeah,
this is
my-
6x12, my green space.
That's so
Yeah,
awesome. That's so
that's
much
really good.
space. That's dope.
That's a
Well, I
good
mean, I
amount of
do
space
like
for
just
VR.
dance as well sometimes,
Yeah.
and then a lot
Makes
of
sense.
this,
Room for
so-
activities. No, it's great.
Yeah.
You gotta have
So
all of
this
these room
is
for activities.
So this is definitely my favorite visual headset, and it's got the best tracking. But
Mhm. It's
Cosmos
most
has,
expensive, right?
Yes,
Yes,
unless you buy
yeah.
the Cosmos Elite or like the Vive Pro or
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Well, Index is
So,
all
yeah.
sold out too. Like
I
you
think
can't
it
even
just
get one
came.
right
I
now.
saw a post that
Wait,
it was
it just came back?
into
Well-
stock a few days
It was
ago.
like,
it
hang
might be
on, I'm
sold
gonna
out
go put it in my
again.
cart.
It's probably already sold out, and
It's
and
probably
also,
gone.
like,
Yeah, but
it's probably
Man,
shipping
they
from
didn't even
China.
email me. I was on the email list.
It's probably shipping from China too. So even if
Well, go
you
check
did
just
get
in
it,
case.
yeah, go check just in case.
no.
Check
take a look.
eBay,
At
check
least, at the
Amazon,
very
you know.
least, take
It's
a
sold
look.
out in
yeah.
30 minutes.
Mhm.
It's sold out in 30 minutes, is what we're told, and it's
Wow.
an 8-week
Yikes.
queue.
You can also pair your headset if you just have like an Index headset with Vive stuff. Like I actually
Yeah,
use
that's
this
cool.
headset with these controllers.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
All you have to have are the
Oh.
like the base stations for these controllers
Yeah.
to read, and then they sync up natively through Steam VR.
Yeah,
So
I have
That's
the
cool.
Vive and the Oculus, I have the Vive and the Oculus, and I remember
Okay.
they didn't work with each other in each other's
Yeah.
games for a while. And there was a program that allowed you to do that, but I think they are all compatible now too.
Steam VR
Okay.
probably helps with a
Oh,
lot
no,
of
I
that.
just-
Yeah,
I
Steam
just
VR
ordered
does.
it, but it's not shipping for 8 weeks. Just for
yeah,
the record.
yeah. You're just in the queue. Yep.
Nice.
Well, you can always fly out here and borrow these systems if you want to test them all out too.
Yeah.
We have a
Or-
nice guest room with a stream setup, so
Oh snap!
There you go. Or
Take
just
him
reach
Come
out
on
out to
down.
Gabe
Yeah.
Newell and be like, "Hey, Gabe, give me one."
Gabe,
Yeah, I'll just
don't play me,
call my
Gabe.
good friend Gabe.
Yeah.
My good old pal Gabe, and we'll make it happen.
I mean, we've given him enough money to be able to call him a friend at this point.
If you have over 200 Steam games, he's officially your friend. Yeah.
Yeah. She adds you on Facebook.
Then we're best friends.
Yeah.
You know? I probably have 200 Steam games I haven't played. Honestly,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Shamefully enough, yeah. Not proud of
I know
it.
people
but
do
it's
a lot
true.
more. Yeah.
So
yeah.
what's the
I have more
longest?
Steam games that I haven't
What's the
played
longest
than
you've
I
ever
have.
spent in VR?
In the Matrix.
17
I guess, like,
days.
Yeah, I know, right? You'd expect it to be a really long number, but just based on like controller battery life and just when a session feels like it's done, especially if most of what I do is playing Beat Saber, that's a physical activity.
Yeah.
So like I can only do it for so long before I feel like my arms are just gonna fall off.
Yep.
So like probably maybe 4 hours or so.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, when I'm playing that long, you usually switch with other people. You have like guests
Sure.
over, you're all switching
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
I first got the Oculus, I think I was in VR for like 12 hours, and I was doing like virtual desktop too, though, and like I was watching
Oh, okay.
Pooh stream in VR. I'm like, I'm in the Matrix.
Nah.
I'm never
Cool.
coming out.
I just haven't like gone that far in some aspects. I need to like play around with some other things in it.
Have you ever done VR chat?
I'm a little scared to do VR.
Same.
I've only done it once,
Okay.
and I thought I was in for 30 minutes. I was in for 3 hours.
Oh, really? I was gonna say, is there a reason why you've
What?
only done it once?
It was just it took a lot more time than I expected, and
Yeah.
it was really fun. Just going around and like it was around the height of the Knuckles meme.
Oh
So
my
there was a
God.
lot of
Okay.
that going on. But it was just really interesting and kind of crazy. And like there were some people that we were just chatting with, and we were like, "Hey, let's go do this."
I
Okay.
feel like
And
it's the international waters of the internet. Like you go there
Yes.
and something illegal's happening somewhere, but you can't tell anyone.
there's
definitely.
trade deals going on that you should not be part of, and if you overhear
Send it to my overseas account, you Ugandan
Yeah.
Knuckles. Just go ahead.
Oh my! You know that actually might be a fun like thing to do. Get like you and a friend to go into VR chat and
Dude,
like make
it'd be
shady
funny
deals
if we did our
within
business
earshot.
meetings in VR
That'd
chat.
be really funny.
Yeah, I kind of
Okay,
want
next
to move
time,
all of our meetings.
if
to
you
VR.
ever-
Yeah.
Let's
if
do a
you're like-
podcast in VR chat.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, you're like, guys, we need Kung Fu back for like, we need to answer
Yes.
more. We need her to answer more questions or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Next time you're on.
Part of your
Sure.
Yeah.
conditions. I'll join, but only if we're
so
in
we
VR
have
chat.
to be in VR.
That's
Yeah.
a great
VR.
episode. I want
I'm
to make
okay
that
with that.
happen.
Yeah.
Done.
Sounds like fun.
Once Pooh
Totally
gets his
in.
headset,
If
we'll
If
revisit
Pooh
the
needs a
idea.
headset, I can send him a Vive or.
No, dude, 8 weeks. 8 weeks will make
All
it
right,
happen.
8
you
weeks,
know?
8
Yeah.
weeks.
There you
now.
go.
Let's all do something interesting in the next 8 weeks, okay? So we can fill a whole podcast in VR chat.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
if
Yeah.
GDQ gets canceled,
Extremely in-
you will be our person on the scene to report.
Okay. That
Perfect.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I can do
Oh,
that.
man.
I can do that.
I can
Totally.
do
Why
that.
not?
Yeah.
I can do
The
that.
one-
I can do that.
The one downfall, however, being in VR chat is we wouldn't get to see your amazing signature hair.
That's
Well, I
you
wonder
know?
if I could like upload it to a character, maybe.
Oh,
you could probably
Just like
make
just
your
like
own
a straight
avatar.
picture.
that's
That'd
what
be
we
funny.
need.
Yeah. Or just like create
Yeah.
a character. I don't know how you would do all that, but probably.
Well, good thing you got a background in that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, to an extent.
That's all 8 years of schooling, and now I can make a VR character that slightly resembles.
It kind of sort of looks like
It's
me.
like
Oh, it's
making
like
a
when
wrestler that looks like you in WWE
Yeah,
2019.
it reminds me of when it was like SGDQ 20. I guess it was SGDQ 2019, I think, when we did the intro that was like Skyrim, and that's how the SGDQ actually opened as like another Skyrim version. And it was like you could see Spike and me sitting in the front of the cart in the intro for Skyrim. Like somebody had modded it so that it looked like us, and you could kind of like the hair is kind of fiery.
Yeah.
So somebody was able to kind of do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It's really fun working with those guys. They're really goofy and fun, and we all kind of like have our roles to play now for like the pre-show and how we write it and do all that. I like
Yeah.
it.
It definitely feels like that over the like course of the last like probably like 4 or 5 GDQs. Like there's like more ongoing presence in certain areas that you can definitely see, and it is really like from a viewership perspective, really really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say we have like a good bond in a way of how we write stuff together and just communicate and everything, because you have like with the main team, you have like Spike, who's like super duper goofy. You have J Hobbs, who kind of runs it, so we make him like kind of the dad of the group. He
Yeah.
has to like guide everybody.
Yeah,
And then
everyone's
you
got
have-
their roles. It's great.
Yeah, Fiesel's like really quiet, but then when he speaks up, it's amazing.
The
Okay,
straight man, yeah.
for this past AGDQ, there was this whole thing in the pre-show where, we go from segment to segment usually. And there was one segment that Fiesel we were writing stuff and coming up with ideas for the pre-show. And Fiesel's like, all right, I have this idea. And we're like, oh, Fiesel, okay, yeah. And so he brings up this idea of like doing the blocks block. And he had already written up everything for this segment where it was like we have the and block and the number block and the colon block, and it was like games with like different things in the title, like games with and in the title, or games with like numbers in the title. So we were like, oh, so like Final Fantasy VI, and he's like, no. He's like, you don't need to just make blocks out of everything. And like, he had all this stuff written. It was amazing. So like, he's usually quiet, but when he has an idea, we're like, yes, use it. Great. It's good. And then you have Kiesel, who's also really goofy, and we just make him kind of dumb. And then there's me, and I'm like, really? I'm really energetic. And that's kind of our little like interview family.
The dynamics, yeah.
No, it works. It works.
I feel like
and then
that would be
you
the
throw in
keys
scent
here between us
and
three.
then we throw in scent. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you throw in scent, and it goes. Yeah,
Oh,
scent,
yeah.
Scent's amazing because he has a celebrity all his own. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
he does.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And the way he goes, like the whole time, like it's incredible. You know.
So when he jumps on interviews a lot to do prize segments. So like he tacks them on at the end, and he'll just kind of come up to you before he's like, or like sometimes he doesn't even tell me. I'll be like getting ready to do an interview, and he's like setting stuff up, and I'm like, are we doing a prize segment? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna jump on at the end. I'm just gonna come on, and he'll say like one way to throw it over, and then we'll just like. And then, like, it's time for the interview. And then I'm like, okay, so we're here with Scent. Or, like, we'll come up with a really quick joke of how to transition it, and that's it. He's just there.
I feel like we need more of him. Like, just, we could do a whole hour segment with him. We should
just that. Yeah, absolutely.
Whole hour.
We should get him on, and he can cut into his interview to tell us about prizes.
Yeah.
That will be the gag.
The interview.
Yeah, during the middle of his interview, you're like, oh, let's take it over to this. We got this amazing sword from.
That'd be really funny.
That would be pretty funny.
He'd be so good at it. It's great. Yeah, I love doing that.
Yeah.
I will say just in terms of my GDQ experience, and I just really like noting this because people will attend GDQs or watch it or hear about it, and then, if something goes wrong or like a decision is made and they're like, GDQ sucks or whatever. It's not the same. It's going downhill. And I'm like, first of all, no. Second of all, anybody I've ever met who works at GDQs, who's like temporary staff or full-time all year round staff, like they work their asses off all the time. And they're so nice. Like everybody has been very cool and chill and nice. And they're very accommodating. Whenever I've met someone, I've interviewed staff a few times, and it's like, I'm so happy to get to know them. Like Richard's really cool, who does, a lot of video stuff, and then like Angel with photography. I remember interviewing them together, and it was like, it's such a treat. I don't know. It's great getting to know them because it's proving true that they're all good people to me.
Yeah. I just want to know how big this hill is supposed to be, because like how high can you go until you do have to go down again to go back up?
Hey, who knows? We'll have to see at the next GDQ.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I think they made a smart play with putting like their subscription revenue in before the end to like help promote to that 3 mil. And, and I want to see it keep growing because the first time 3 million was hit, I don't know if you guys were all present in that room, but everybody's like freaking out. Yeah, everybody's crying. Spike like picked me up, and like we were on Keys and I were on Spike and J-Hop's backs, and we're like running across the way, and I see Edo being on the stage, and she's just bawling, and it was so great. It was amazing. So being a part of something like that and seeing that number keep going up is just incredible.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Well,
I absolutely feel the like the same way. It's like it's always kind of crazy to look back, and no matter what, like no matter how small a part you had in the week, like any runner, the attendees, anyone who was on the couch, like it all matters, and you all contributed to it.
You played a role. You were there.
Exactly. Like it's always like really fun to look back, and it's kind of crazy because every year it does feel like it's just gotten bigger. Like I think literally everyone I've ever gone to, it's just been bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and bigger.
It has. It's really cool, especially since 2014. It's come a long way.
Yeah.
I think my first one was like 1.4 million, and now it's
and
double
now it's
that.
over 3
4 years.
Yeah, so cool.
It's incredible. I think that I always hear the stuff on the internet, and I'm a big ardent defender of GDQ. I think GDQ is incredible. I've also cursed at every single GDQ run I've done, not on purpose, and I have never once been even spoken to about it. In fact, they honor my stomp for years to come. So,
yeah. Okay, here's the thing about that I will say is that they do take notes on the runners. That is a thing.
There's a whole book with highlighted things for Pooh.
Yeah, it's just like Pooh said shit highlight. You know? Now I'm worried. Now I'm worried about my file. You know.
So
what
I know there's like some kind of
record.
I don't have any more details on that. All I know is that they do keep note of like runners' behavior and blah blah blah. But second of all, you are never there to try to do that purposely. It's not like you are like, oh, I don't care. I'm just gonna curse. It's always like, like it's a slip, and then you're aware of it, or you're. It's not your intention, and you're always trying to be good, and you're overall a great presence. And from what I've known of you, a very great person and very down to earth. So
don't worry. I've gone Hollywood the last couple months.
Does GDQ have the equivalent of a FOIA request? If you don't. If you don't know what that is, a FOIA request is the Freedom of Information Act for the U.S. government that you can request your information from the federal government. So
I want to see my permanent record.
I have no idea. I can try to ask some staff and see if that's a thing. If you would like me to,
that'd be amazing.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, you can. I just think that you can tell a good judge of character. You know, anybody, again, like I've said, they're good people at GDQ. And I also think that they're not stupid. So they're going to know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like Carl Sagan is literally cursed in every one of his runs. In fact, he said "fuck" with me in the same run like twice.
I don't think the charities love that.
I know was like super planned. I was like, oh come on, Carl, that was such a planned one right there.
Yeah.
And I love him for that, and it's every single one. But yeah, it's I always think like I don't know. It's a special place. Like you know, everyone's working. I think when you go there, it literally dispels like all those rumors and myths. And I feel like it is just like this weird, this weird thing on the internet. You know what I mean? Where like these weird, there's just some people on the internet that just don't want.
They don't want to like anything.
That are great.
Yeah.
They want to find a reason. They want to be contrarian. They want to hate the thing that's popular or that's
Everything's
cool.
a conspiracy.
They hate fun.
Everything's a conspiracy.
Fun.
Yeah, it's like that or that.
Yeah, why do you guys hate fun?
Things. That's a great question. You know, I don't know, but we do still have the awful block. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a balance. But it's so interesting just to have people like that. I mean, just people don't like change sometimes, or they want to be able to have the lax rules that they wanted to have. And then when GDQ like cleans it up and usually improves how they do a type of system, or making sure they monitor people for safety or whatever, they're just unhappy about it because it's like, oh, it's 2PC. And I'm like, it's a charity event.
Yeah. I mean, and that's A, and B, there's so many events now. Yeah. That there's tons of events that allow like random shit. Like, dude, if you wanna donate to with your name, like, cocky balls, like there's tons of events that'll read that donation.
We'll take
like
it
straight
MMC
up. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, we'll take it at MMC. We'll read it and laugh about it, and make a joke about the next 6 of them that do it.
Yeah.
There's so many.
There's so many other.
I don't see those people in those chats contributing to those events.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
GDQ can be PG, and others can be 13 and plus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like there's room for so many different versions. Of the marathon.
And just think about like
what I mean?
one of the largest events that have such like a very heavy-handed relationship with these charities directly. These are huge charities, and this is like probably the most notable speedrunning event that people are aware of during the year.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's a probably. It's GDQ is the 4th most followed Twitch channel. Period.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's massive every year.
I mean, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, just with how big it's growing in size and how they want to continue to have a really good relationship with charity, I don't blame them at all for making sure that they're staying within the lines and boundaries that the charity asks for. Because if this is for the charity, then you want to listen to what the charity wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if they're like, oh, they're just doing it to make money, and I'm like, of course GQ wants to make money. It's for charity.
Yeah.
That's
how dare they do that?
I think there's like this disconnect where like GDQ is a speedrunning event, but it's a charity event first.
Yeah.
In my mind, you know what I mean? And even to the point where like now we've gotten to the point like especially our group Mario submissions where we think about, well, how can we make the most? How can we give the most excitement?
How can you incentivize? Yeah.
Exactly. How can we do the most in our time that we'll have allotted possibly, you know what I mean? How can we contribute that in the best way and shape? You know what I mean? To the point that I think that's important to always realize, you know what I mean?
I think GDQ pays attention to that because they want to be able to put the maximum amount of effort and energy into raising money for charity as possible. So knowing that you've thought about it and you have quite a draw. So like, it's a really good combination of, they have a presence and they have thought through how they can get more. And just...
that's why we like bringing the whole Mario crew.
Yeah,
you know?
The whole gang.
Every time we bring the whole gang out.
Hey, if you keep it fresh, it's gonna make it interesting for the audience, and everybody's gonna. It's just gonna be a win-win.
The only people that are upset are like the 7 people on Twitter who are like, "That's not a speed run, actually."
Yeah, but can you imagine all of the people at home based on all the people in the audience who were fucking mesmerized by the by the Clone Hero guy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Clone Hero. I was backstage because we were getting ready
I was standing with you.
Yeah, we were standing together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mind was just. I think there's actually a picture of us hanging out right then.
I think so too. Angel was taking a picture, and the guys doing the speedrunning documentary were just standing there with the cameras like right on us.
Yeah, I was freaking out though about how cool that. And I hope more of that. Like, that was going to bring me to my next question. Do you think Beat Saber will ever be seen at GDQ?
Ooh.
I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
But okay. Logistically,
it would have to be crazy.
Logistically, it'd probably be one of the most difficult runs to have set up.
That's a good point.
It wouldn't be a run, it'd be a showcase.
Yes.
But I think it would be difficult, but I don't think it's impossible. And I also think, I wonder how they would do the music for it if like they have any restrictions on which songs you can play and things like that. I mean, besides ones that like don't have curse words. If it just needs to stay like a vanilla Beat Saber or if mods are okay. I don't know. Like, I guess since they allow ROMs, it might be all right to do whatever mods you want. But, and then if they're like crowd requests, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff you could do with like a Beat Saber showcase. Do I think I'm good enough for it? I'd love to be, but I know there are people out there who are better than me.
I'm still waiting for the Labo submissions.
Great.
Dude, it takes so long to build a Labo, man. Those things are like 4 hours.
You gotta put it together.
Yeah, you gotta put it together.
Yeah, you have to like fast forward it through like the instructions.
That's your first split. It's like
sooner.
Cardboard fold on the right, split.
But I just want to now picture somebody walk on stage with a little like cardboard fishing pole and do like a speed run. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, there's been fishing pole controller speed runs though in GDQ at different times. Like that has happened.
Yeah, there have been some cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but and that is like one of the harder parts now. Like GDQ is 10 years old, 2 events a year. It's like fucking Survivor. You know what I mean? It's on twice a year. Jakku's gone again. It's hard to keep coming with that fresh stuff, and that's why I was really excited for like Clone Hero, because it was seeing something.
It's cool,
different, extremely talented, blew your mind, and I think. Like those things like I think there's definitely like the hardcore purist speedrunning, but I think there's a lot of things that are speedrunning adjacent.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I know that term has been mentioned by more than just you. Like it's been mentioned around GDQ. Speedrun adjacent content.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? It has that same level of skill and speed.
Yeah.
Where else is Clone Hero supposed to be shown off? You know what I mean? There's what other event can they do that? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It was like, I questioned it a little when I first saw it, but at the same time, I was like, I'm sure that's going to be really cool. And then as soon as it's on stage, you're like,
that's really cool.
Like you and I said hi to each other and then maybe one other thing. And then we were both like just staring at it. We weren't talking to each other. Drop, You know, it was like one of those moments.
I don't see it very often, but I'm going to watch this thing instead.
I know. Hey,
well, no, it was just so.
But yeah, it was so good.
It was so jaw dropping. You know,
mesmerizing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think Beat Saber is possible, but you know, they'd have to like set it up. You'd have to have the right lighting, so you'd have best tracking. Because if you have tracking issues, then you're gonna have scoring issues, and you could fail a song for no reason or blah blah blah. So you'd have to like really be set up.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the first like VR game that will take GDQ. I couldn't do Power Glove at GDQ because it's all sound waves and like a lot of down shit just fucks with it.
Yeah, and then you need to be careful with like motion sickness for people if it's like tracking the headset.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
if you have
true,
something
yeah.
strong enough, you could do like the setup that I do, like the mixed reality setup. Maybe if they had something for that.
Yeah,
That'd be so cool.
It
What
might have to
program
be
do you
like
use?
off over to the side. I use Live, L-I-V. Yeah,
I hear they're good.
easy piece of software. So you just get a whole green screeny setup. And then, that they can't see because they can only see the Disney castle. But imagine that the everything behind me is just green screen.
I think they figured out that it was a green screen.
That's
behind
my
it.
floor. I have like green foam tile flooring and then like a green screen on a track that's like a U shape.
Just like
so
that.
I can like
Bang.
literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gone. But yeah, like they would need to have something like that set up and then have it all. It would just be, you'd have to set it up off to the side and do it like way before the run or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd be cool though.
I'd love to see it
PlayStation
done.
VR might be doable though. In the meantime, something simple like that.
Yeah, I thought Resident Evil 7 might be like the first one we ever see in VR.
Yeah,
because that one makes sense. It's a game that's already been shown. It gives it a little bit,
That's fair.
new feeling. But
yeah, I think that would make sense to me too.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm rooting for Beat Saber. I would love to see someone just like, you know what I mean, like super hand motion
just
going
in on it. Yeah,
just
So
going
much physical
ham
effort.
on it.
They need to like put on tons of deodorant before they get on that stage.
Sweat dripping.
That Drakkar Noir.
They have to go straight to the Smash room once they're done. Like,
no.
Smash Room's been better smelling the last couple rounds.
Well, you know what? I just think I think HDQ this past one was just a much better smelling area because it was big.
It was all
like,
open, yeah.
The giant roofs and everything.
Yeah.
Like it was easily the best hygiene one I've seen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Personally,
I wish the board game room was more accessible, but otherwise, I thought it was a good layout.
Yeah.
That was all the way on the
You know what
other
it is?
end.
It's because those I thought you were talking about stink in the board game room. So
Oh,
never
no.
mind.
It was the
Eventually, Muffins
stinkiest.
came up and opened all the doors, and she was like, no, we got to air it out. And I'm like, that's fair. I didn't-
It's because the guys and girls who play board games are there for like 18, 19 hours.
Like the
sitting in
arcade.
same
A lot of
spot.
those games
Yeah,
take
man.
a long ass time. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, you can't walk
Yeah,
around.
dude.
You're there.
Monopoly,
You're
man.
committed for 6 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
have to like
I
just hop in and be like, how are you guys doing? I'll watch. And then I got to go do an interview.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah. Cool. Well, Kung Fu, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
It was a pleasure.
It's been really fun.
We hope you can come on again soon, especially for our first virtual reality one.
Yeah, I'm there.
We'll make
I'm
sure
there.
we
You
make-
just let me know when I'm there.
We will
Awesome.
make sure that we make that happen. We were going to see you kind of soon for an unnamed special thing, but unfortunately, that won't be happening. So
Yeah.
we hope to
Not
see
yet.
you
Not yet.
live. No, it will, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We hope to see you though live at GDQ. If not, we will probably hear you online and hear your amazing voice. What do you want to plug? Plug everything you can right now. Where's your YouTubes, your socials, your
I
Twitters?
do things. Hi, I stream.
Yes.
I'm used to other people in streams being like, when are you streaming tonight? And I just say, I don't stream. That's my usual response. So it's kind of weird to do the opposite. Hi, you can follow me like anywhere that you would have social accounts except for like Facebook at KungFuFruitCup. It's the same on Twitter. It's the same on Instagram. It's the same on YouTube. I put stuff on all of those and my Twitch. And it's fun. I'm trying to be more consistent with YouTube. I want to get some actual creative, like written works up there.
Nice.
I have a lot of things that are like in early to mid production planning stages of things that I actually want to make. So hopefully you guys will get to see that in the next it's like several things within the next like 6 months.
Dang,
Really
we better
cool.
ring that bell over on the channel so we don't miss it. Am I right, listeners?
Mhm.
Ring, ring.
Yeah, so I'm
Sub
just do that
and
and then I
ring the
stream.
bell.
And then I stream. And that's my life. It's cool.
What are you playing right now?
I'm playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It's actually kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
I've heard like I loved Ori 1.
Yes.
And I hear this is better than
So this is
every
like
single one.
right now so far. It's like they took the first Ori game and then they took things they liked from Hollow Knight and then added it to the first Ori game, which is great for me because I love Hollow Knight personally. I thought it was a great game. So they took elements of that I'm like, oh look, I'm really familiar with that already. And then I remember stuff from the first game. And so far I've only done one stream, but I'm having a blast. And then we have Persona 5 Royal coming out, which is something I love. I'll be doing, you may see me doing a lot with Animal Crossing and maybe some special stuff with that.
Yeah, we should visit each other's islands one day, you
We
know?
should,
You, me, Bird. I'll get my wife to go.
I gotta make Bird
I'll
get
go
it.
hunt bugs. Yeah.
This will be his first time playing Animal Crossing.
I'll go hunt bugs.
Maybe some front
really?
page time, maybe, or something.
Ooh.
Dude,
Ooh.
I'm kind of like nervous about all the new people that are getting into Animal Crossing this time because
Lots of
because
toxic people.
no, not that. I just don't think they understand
How
that
much
it's
is involved?
not necessarily a game.
Yeah.
That it's more of a
It's a lifestyle.
yeah, it's kind of a thing to do. Like,
It's
how into having a polka dot virtual couch are you? You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like is that important to you? So, you know, like
How well do you want to take care of your town? Are you going to
Yeah.
go fishing every day? No,
Yeah.
you
Are
have
you
bills to pay. Make
My
sure you
town's
get
gonna
your
look like
bells in.
shit, but I'm gonna have a sick museum. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Dude, I
well,
put
you can have
waterfalls
like
everywhere.
ordinances on your town to make sure that it doesn't like get weeds and stuff if you want to do that.
yeah.
Oh, I'm
So
gonna
we
I'm
can
putting
kind of like
waterfalls
make
everywhere.
people are
it'll
gonna come to
maintain
my
itself
town to
for you.
buy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all
Go
weed.
fish
Waterfalls
sharks.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Sharks are a good way to
Get
get
some
income.
sharks, of course.
I'm
yeah.
allergic to sharks.
We'll just catch them and sell them. Don't touch them.
I'm gonna
That's
pay
fair.
off my debt and
Okay.
keep my tent so I don't get suckered into this economic trap that Tom Nook is laying out for me, man.
Oh, that's a great idea.
But what if you want
Dude.
4 rooms, 3 stories, and a large basement?
You don't
I don't
need
You know
know.
what?
those.
He
You don't
doesn't
need
charge
those.
interest, which is pretty OG
That's
of
true.
him.
That
And
is
you
pretty
pay
OG.
back at whatever rate you want.
Could you
At
imagine
how-
if they
whatever
added
timing.
interest?
Yeah.
Oh
Dude.
my god, that would be
What if,
horrible.
what if there was a hard
Technically,
mode
you
where he
don't
charged
know.
interest?
Yeah.
Technically, you don't know if he's charging interest because he just gives you the house
Yeah.
and then tells you this is what you owe.
That's
So he
but
could be making.
fair.
He's probably making a sweet profit off.
Sure,
He's
but
definitely
I'm
making
sure.
some money for sure. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyone who sells a house,
If this
better be making
equated
some
into
money.
bells and you're getting like a 900 square foot like house and it's like 100,000 bells and then it's like 150,000 to add a room, you're like, it doesn't cost $150,000 to add
Yeah,
one
you
room
also-
onto a house.
that's true.
You also have to think, what's the
Just make it
property
bank.
value on this, you know, sparsely inhabited,
This
island?
is the
Like, it
next
can't be that-
podcast.
to
The
start
next
out
time
with.
I'm on here, we're talking about property values in Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
This is
You
an
gotta break
entire,
down
yeah.
the lay of the land.
This is an entire separate episode. All right, we need to get into the economic stability of selling snails because this is just getting out of
Yes.
control.
Well,
How
it's
does
gonna be
KK
fun.
Slider make a living though? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You gotta just drop a
how's-
couple
he's
bells in
he's
the
playing
in the
music for
guitar
9
case.
people. Like,
Yeah.
It's all of his records.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
He buys
you don't-
records.
Oh,
He makes a lot on
has the record.
Spotify. He streams it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also
Yeah,
don't
that
need to
makes
make a whole lot of money because like
You don't realize that there's a
there's-
camera in the back and he's live streaming and he's got like
Oh.
80,000 viewers at a time.
Yeah.
And they're all throwing
go.
Twitch Prime subs at him.
But you can't understand the words, but his lyrics are mostly just "Thanks for the Twitch Prime."
Yeah. That's what he's actually saying.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
oh man, See, that's what Nintendo should totally just do. That is like a live KK Slider concert.
They should, I mean, they do the
when it-
live
when it
Splatoon
releases next
concerts.
Friday.
yeah.
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 I'm really excited because my Animal Crossing Switches just shipped out. And it
Oh
will
my
be here
God, I want
tomorrow.
one so bad.
Nice.
Oh,
You
I
can
do.
win one.
I'm sorry. I ordered one for me and the wife, and I'm
Yeah,
like, we're
That's
both
fair.
balling
That's
super
okay.
excited.
I
Lad's
I have a
Yeah.
friend who may have an extra one, so they're gonna let me know.
You know what?
They're
You
gonna
should
let you
trade
borrow
that
it for an
extra.
indefinite period of time, right?
Yeah, trade that extra headset you got over there. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah, it'd be like totally mine.
I don't know what
I
happened to it.
lost it actually.
I don't-
Funny
it-
that you're
Yeah,
asking.
I think someone broke into my house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got burgled last night. They
Yeah.
stole just the headset.
Just
Yeah.
the headset. I
Dude, the
scared
headset
him off.
alone is $500. That they're getting
Yeah.
they're getting a deal if I do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
deal. All right. Well, thank you so much. We greatly
Yeah.
appreciate it. We can't wait to have you on again. Kung Fu
It's been
Fruit
great.
Cup.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks.
thanks.
Thanks and have a fantastic rest of your night.
Hey, you too, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Cool.
All right. So
Did I end
now
my
the-
recording?
Yeah, you can end
Yeah.
recording. There should be a link
Here we go.
in that site that I sent you for a Dropbox, and just drop your file in there. Yeah.
wave.
Yeah.
Nope, that should be good.
Yep.
The default on export. I think 16 is actually
think
okay because I think that's the
16's
default.
I think that's what I export as. So yeah,
Yeah.
you should be fine. if the editors
have
yell
no
at
idea.
us, I'll take the blame.
They just gotta, yeah. You could export both. Yeah, you could export as 16
Could
and
export, yeah.
and then export as 32 and throw them both up there.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, just okay. Tom Nook.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
so
Thank
glad
you
you
so
joined
much.
us. Thanks for coming.
Yes, that was awesome. No, we
Nah, it's all
loved it.
good.
It was perfect. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Same, dude. Yeah, I'm sweating. I can't wait till we're finished with the rest of it because I'm sweating up a storm right now. Just turn off the camera, just tear off the shirt. Easy.
If only you didn't have sleeves.
If only. 2019 was a better year.
It was for many reasons. We'll get into that in the podcast.
I was gonna do another one this year, but it was taxing, honestly. Not wearing sleeves for an entire year was actually kind of tough. Some days it got tough, yeah. A little cold in the winters, and you know what? Some days I'm just like, I like this pocket tee, but I can't wear it. Yeah, I tucked it all into a box and just like kind of shoot it away for the year. But it was like I got a brand new wardrobe this year, which was really cool.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
perfect.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna record the rest of like the news and everything. So all you got to do is just jump out and it'll automatically fit to the scenes and everything. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Yeah,
Bye.
for sure. We'll see you around.
Ditto.
Bye.
Peace.
Man, what a great interview that was.
We got yeah.
This episode's making me hot though, just because all these lights are on, the AC's off, everything, it's hot. And so maybe we take it over to our hot take.
Hot take, boys.
Hot take.
This
Hot take.
I know a hot take is more of like an opinion that's like super controversial. This is more of a me being pissed off, but fuck, I'm hot, guys. Like,
Yeah.
Dude,
What-
yo,
what-
I'm really excited you brought this one up.
I'm hot
Like-
for you, man.
it has been 36 streams, about 8 hours a stream for me to fully complete my Breath of the Wild guideless 100% playthrough. It's definitely my top 5 like gaming achievements. I'm very proud of it. It was an incredible feat.
Mhm.
By the last 3 seeds, I was spending maybe 8 to 10 hours per seed. Like seed 880 or 98. It's fucking, it's in the canyon. Seed 889, also in the canyon. I just didn't finish fucking searching it because I'm an idiot.
Wow.
Right, dude? But there's a lot
Wow.
of different.
Two in the same. Did you find them like back to back?
No, like I've
Oh.
searched like half the canyon really. Like I had searched the canyon once and then I left. And then I came back when I was at like 896 or something and I found another one and then I left. And then I came back a few more times and then one time I was like, I've checked the top and the bottom of these windmills, but never the middle of these windmills. And that was where one of the seeds were. So I found that one. Which was definitely one of the best, most hidden seeds in the game.
Yeah.
But anyway, during this whole thing, my chat was like just coming together in a really awesome way and having a fucking amazing time. I made a channel in my Discord that ended up getting called Raiders of the Lost Seed, and it was a channel that I was not allowed to go in. I never peeked in there, and where my community scoured through my VODs and looked at my map while I was playing to figure out, cross-referencing a guide, where the last seed is. So my community had access to that knowledge. Where is the last seed? They knew. And even throughout seeds like the last 5 seeds that they knew. And we went like 40 hours of gameplay with everyone being super fucking awesome about it. Nobody spoiling, which was an incredible feat for the internet. I'm just shocked that went down the way it did. But on seed 900, the final fucking seed, I'm like probably 10 hours into searching for this seed. And some guy goes to try and spoil it in the chat, and it gets hit with a timeout in the channel. And the person who timed it out, I don't think knew where the seed was actually, so they didn't know if it was a real spoiler or not. But they just hit him with a 10-minute timeout. They came back after and dropped 100 bits to get text to speech with the actual spoiler location. And
wow.
Like
$100.
It was spoiled before I could it was banned before I could read it, but the text to speech I couldn't get around that, right?
Yeah.
So this fucking little, for lack of a more elegant word, little fucking bitch piece of shit, like
Tell us how you really feel.
Was able to ruin the experience for 500 plus people, I gotta say, who were invested in this journey, because this was fucking awesome, man. It was the funnest fucking little quest to find all these seeds. It was so amazingly fun. And that last seed, like, you know, when you're like, Pooh, you remember grinding fucking the really, really balls deep hard Kaiser levels when Mario Maker first launched, like the Panga stuff, the Skyway to Shell, all that really tough shit. And when you finally get it, that moment where you're like, oh man, the last 40 hours may have been tough, but it's worth it. That was robbed from me. That was robbed from me and robbed from everyone that was watching. And it made me very, very hot. And
but it was just a joke, bro.
And that was another really shitty part. I reached out to the person after the stream. I rated my brother after, and this person was still watching my stream in my brother's chat, where I'm obviously a mod. He wrote, "I spoiled the last seed for Xwater," as if to boast about this as some sort of achievement. So I ban him from my brother's chat, obviously, first thing I do. And then I whisper him, and I'm like, okay, diplomatic approach. Hey, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you did it. Like, I'm not here to, like, cuss you out, but can I just know why you did it? Like, I just want the reason. And he was like, "I'm so sorry. I thought it would have been funny. I really didn't think it was gonna." And I'm like, are you fucking with me? Like, you would need to have a negative 7 billion IQ to not understand how not funny that is. Like, that's so stupid. So I realized I wasn't gonna get a straight answer any further from that. I'm like, it wasn't funny. You ruined it for me. You ruined it for everybody. You fucking suck. I'm banning you and blocking you. Bye. And I just did that. And here we are now.
Normally we have a hot take where we can kind of take one side and debate, but no, like there's no situation where that can be. Someone can look at this, look at what you've done, know how many things you have done. Collecting 900 of anything in any game, it doesn't matter. Even 900 coins in a single level is a bit of work.
It's a good one. It's a good amount of work.
It's still not nearly as much work as what you did, but it's still a decent amount of work. And for someone to come in and just like 100 bits, it still would have been okay if it was $1,000 worth of bits, but it would have been a little nicer.
Yeah, I wouldn't be this. It would be more of a like medium hot take if it was $1,000.
Yeah. So that's crazy. I feel for you. I recently had to collect a bunch of stuff in a game. I had to collect a bunch of dodgeballs in No More Heroes, and finding 49 dodgeballs. It must be exactly the same.
It's tedious. It's tedious.
In such a small map. No, but
it's weird because in Zelda, it didn't get boring. Like somehow.
I think the map itself lends itself well to that. It's
like
so nice and vast, and
every piece of that map is crafted with some sort of reference or detail. Like there's so many things you walk by where you're like, oh look, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere, but there's a little signpost that has like an apple sticking on it. Why is that? Like it's just like weird, interesting things that like tell a small story within the landscape. And like you run into hidden hot springs, and you look deeper into things you never notice. Like, oh shit, I didn't even notice that. Like that rock formation was supposed to, like. There's like a bridge above the Goron city that's literally being held up by Goron stone statues. It's fucking sweet. Like it's so cool.
this is one of the situations where I really wish Nintendo had a achievement program.
Yeah.
So we could see how many people went and got 900 seeds. And like people can still cheat, but like
probably a good amount.
No, I highly doubt a good amount.
I think
how
like
many
1%.
with guides is the question, because that's
even
where
still.
my pride comes in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think doing it without a guide is even better. But I think even with a guide, like
It's
I
still a
wouldn't do
task.
it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. That's
It's still
too
at
much work
least like 80 hours minimum.
for me. Yeah, and so like I think like to see what percentage of people actually completed this would be amazing to know.
Yeah.
Because I think you're definitely like in the top 1% of players for Zelda Breath of the Wild to have seen the map, to have explored the map, to have done this task.
Yeah.
And that's something to be proud of. Even with that last seed being spoiled, you still like don't let that discourage you. Definitely still feel excited.
I do still feel the pride, because I know at one point I would have, like, I know how my brain works well enough to know that at some point in the next like 2 days of that search, I would have said the phrase, I'm going to go look around every lake. And I would have found it.
You would have found it. It may have saved you some time, but like you did 899 seeds. And you would have found that seed in a day or two. So definitely still be proud. And like the amazing thing is like you did it, and it took a long time, but you did it, and that's amazing. And your community was very involved in that, and it was really exciting to see. And I would pop in from time to time and be like, "Where's he at now? Oh, he's got 5 more. He got 5 more since like last
my
time
favorite
I came
thing
up.
was showing people my map, because it shows everywhere you've walked. By the end, it was literally like watching somebody who like meticulously just drew lines to color in a full like 20-foot by 20-foot painting.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool.
All right.
Cool.
Fuck that guy though.
Yeah,
seriously, fuck that guy. Please ban him in my channel too.
Yeah, I'll ban him in all the channels I'm a mod in.
Dude,
I'm not gonna drop the name because I don't want to do that for the whole feed the troll
like,
shit.
Honestly, like it's not. It's like you took away that moment and you fucked with someone's business and someone's money, and it's just
Monty's
like
already got care of it in your channel.
Good. Like fuck that guy, dude. That's like one of the grossest things, because he gained nothing.
He gained nothing.
He gained nothing.
He gained nothing. This isn't one of those situations where you got over on someone. He just gained nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
took
think
took from you to gain nothing.
Yeah. So this just like your search for seeds, this episode has gone on way too long.
Way too long.
Yes, we need to wrap up. Jakku, cherry pick one of our side questions. Yeah.
Okay.
We can only do one because we are running deep.
All right, let's go with all right, Matic T, unofficial cool kid is the title he gave himself. Hey, hi, hello, howdy. Anytime anyone talks about an older game, especially an older Nintendo game, the inevitable comment comes along. They should remake that on Switch. Other than the obvious games like VR only, are there any games that wouldn't or shouldn't have a Switch remake? Yo Noid.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's funny is I just posted a Yo Noid Spelunky skin, Jakku, in our group chat.
That was
my God.
So if you wanted to play Spelunky with Yo Noid, I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm in. They got me in with it. Oh, I didn't get to tell you guys on my Japan trip real quick story. I landed in the airport and there was a TV crew for a Japanese show.
Oh my God, yeah.
And of course they saw me and they're like, let's go talk to this guy. I talked to them for 30 minutes about why I was there. Talked about speed running. They asked me what I speed ran. Yo Noid. Had to explain Yo Noid to them. Showed them the video on the phone. Gave them the link. So like it might air and like Japan might get like
a taste of Jakku.
A taste of Jakku and Yo Noid. It was hilarious. But yeah, I would say no Yo Noid remake on a Nintendo Switch, please.
Yeah, no DK64 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad. No remake, dude. I'm fuck all that. Remake every goddamn game. Remake every fucking game. I want to play all my games as a youth, but with today's ability to make games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're just better at making games. We're not trying to suck the quarters out of you. Remake every fucking game.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my opinion.
Ninja Gaiden. Let's get Ninja Gaiden. I want that.
Remake them all.
Legit.
Remake them all.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good question. We're going to save the other ones for next week. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Again, our Patreon, patreon.warp.world. It would mean a lot, and it would help us a lot. Again, I did recently lose my job. I'm not trying to tell you to go and do this, but like
hit him in the heartstrings.
Listen, like I put 4+ years of my life into this job, and I may potentially have coronavirus, and they let me go. Who knows? I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but it's definitely this door is closed for my chapter in life, and I'm hoping to make Warp World something bigger for everyone. And if you want to be part of that, you can join the Patreon to help make I'm just a boy with a dream.
Just a boy with a dream.
Just a boy with a dream. But yeah, I am back to streaming as well. I'm still figuring out my schedule, but you can find me most nights. Twitch.tv/Jakku again.
Yeah. Jakku's streaming again. And you're streaming daytime sometimes too as well, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled on his channel, y'all.
Hit that bell button on my channel.
Hit that bell.
Because you never know. I'd appreciate it.
All right. Enough
everyone.
plugging.
Enough plugging,
Right.
yeah.
Enough
Please,
plugging.
We
if anyone's listening at this point, they follow all our shit.
That's
Yeah,
true.
real
That's
fair.
true.
In the words of J. Cole in the outro of his 2014 Forest Hills, if you made it this far, you already fucking with me.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We out. Peace.
Bye.